will you do if Essendon lose this?
Yeah, if we lose this game against Gold Coast on our home deck, Marvel Stadium, I will dress up as a clown on the Swordplay podcast. I'm not having it.
You heard it here first.
I'm not fucking having it.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. It is season 4, episode 22. We are on the home run here. As usual, I'm joined by the Professor. We do have a very, very special guest this week as well. And I'm also joined by an absolute joker by the look of it. But boys, it's carnage at the moment for some of our teams.
That's all good.
We're going to get into things very soon. Before I introduce our special guests, we'll be going through those injuries this week. Obviously, the players that may not be able to get up. And, hey, if you've got some trades left, we're going to go through a player from every line from a range of different price brackets. One player who we would recommend getting in this week if you've actually got the trades up your sleeve. And a very special mailbag this week. It's Ask Us Anything, boys. Any random question that you like. It can be Supercoach related, or else you can go completely off the beaten track and just ask us anything. So something a little bit different, have a little bit of fun before the end of the season. But before I do introduce our special guest and my brother Janath, let's just address the elephant in the room here. Spillsy, tell us what's going on here, mate. You're a joker this week. Explain why, brother.
I am, and I'm absolutely bamboozled that you were able to hold a straight face through that whole intro. So kudos to yourself. But boys, a bet's a bet, and yeah, you stick to your word. And it was about halfway through the third quarter when I made that call, and I thought, you know what, Gold Coast, they'll challenge us. They haven't won away all year, and yeah, well. Yeah, that didn't age very well. I thought we'd run away with it, and yeah, we definitely didn't. I thought it was absolutely fitting that Mac Andrew kicked the goal after the siren, just copping it all night. Of course, Essendon are going to concede a goal after the siren to Gold Coast to end our season. I mean, it's such an Essendon thing to do. Last week's performance was an absolute fluke. So, yeah, did a bit of shopping over the weekend, boys, on Sunday, looking for like a clown sort of kit, and you'd be surprised how high the demand is for a clown suit. I tell you, I went to Spotlight, Toy World, Big W, couldn't find anything really, but I did land at this little like party shop in town somewhere, and they did have this Joker hat, and because my side is a bunch of Jokers, I was like, you know what, I'll cop that. I'll get the nose as well, but to be honest, some particularly on Twitter would argue that I don't need a clown nose. The one that I've got's already good enough. But look, it's all good, boys. I'll just run with it. So I went to buy this like kit. I sort of said, look, I lost the bet. I explained the situation, and the lady, a really sweet lady, she was like, "Oh, you don't need an actual costume. You happy with just the hat and the nose?" And I said, "Well, look, I've already got a clown suit at home, boys. This is as good as any." The only reason that this clown suit isn't 100% perfect, maybe I could have number 13 or 47 on the back of it.
Oh, bang bang!
Look, it'll have to do it. But boys, a man of me word, and yeah, I'll cop this outfit for the time being.
Is that Menzies and Cox?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, Menzies and Cox. Done.
Just
done
gone bang bang to start off the season. Now, before you
need to be listed, but that's my personal take. I'm not going to go into it, but they are bloody hopeless, boys. They cost us.
Spills, you know, Nick Martin, our good friend, listens into this podcast. Hopefully, he doesn't just pass on that message, mate, to the two lads there, because very, very big call to start.
Someone's beaten me to that DR. I think, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard Kane Corns on Classified last night saying that Nick Cox shouldn't be playing footy anymore. So I think I'm not the only one that shares, and I think a lot of Don's supporters would agree, because it is frustrating, I tell you.
Quickly on that, I saw another video with a different angle. He literally punches himself like in the temple. Like, so what happens is, it looks like from the other vision that there's no head contact at all. But from this other angle, I think like his arm gets whacked into himself. It's really bizarre. But check it out, Spillsy, because I think Corns is copping a little bit of a whack for that now.
Right.
Said he was very soft, but yeah, I reckon there was a little bit of contact there, mate. So we will talk about that a little bit later. I still haven't introduced this special guest of ours. We will get to you, mate, but very quickly, Janath, my brother, how's your week been, mate? As a Blues supporter, a little bit of carnage down at your club at the moment, mate, similar to some of our Supercoach teams.
Boys, I've just signed a contract. I've signed the contract with the Carlton Blues. 10 days. It's a 10-day contract. They just want me to come and play in WA this week. Yeah, got the call up. No more fit bodies. So they're getting lucky fans to play. Some say it's lucky, others say it's unlucky. I'll probably do my ACL walking onto the ground, honestly, at this point.
Are you going to be the player or are you going to be the doctor? Because clearly they don't know what they're doing.
Going to be every role in the entire
the coach as well.
We've got 6 players got injured on the weekend. 6. So, look, the most Carlton thing, I can't believe this happened. Jack Martin and Lockie Fogarty go into a contest. They hit each other. One of them has a hamstring injury, and the other one has a collarbone injury. You're just like,
yep, that's Carlton.
But
to be honest, I feel sort of worse for you, mate. Carlton supporters, because they were in the prelim last year. Like, they know they're good. We're Essendon, we've been in the top 2 most of the year, but we know we suck. Like, we are
the same. We are the same, Spillsy. Look, I'm going to put it out on Twitter later. I want your boys' very quick thoughts, though. Would you rather lose a game after the siren by a team missing the goal or by the other team kicking the goal? So we're basically talking Mitch McGovern or Mac Andrew. What would you rather?
Probably missing it, I think, personally.
I'd go the other team
I reckon
kicking
I
it
could cope
probably.
with missing it more as well.
Yeah, I think so.
You reckon?
At least it's a skill error. Like, it's on you, where when the other side does it, I would know because I've seen 3 big ones in 3 years.
Skills, yeah.
Elliot, Houston, and now Mac Andrew was there for all of them. And it bloody sinks you where
That's a good
I think
call.
you missed it yourself.
It does sink you. Yeah.
Well,
I had a good weekend, boys, other than that.
Excellent, mate. Well, we're going to get to you now, mate. So for most of you that tune into this channel, you will know exactly who this great man is. We are joined by who I think is a super bloke, has a very, very successful YouTube channel going on as well. It is a legend that is Steve from SDS Supercoach, our great mate here. Buddy, thank you very much for joining us. How are you going, legend?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It feels like I'm the only AFL team supporter here that's not losing their mind at the minute. So I believe if you heard me say that at the start of the year, you'd call me mental. Yeah, I mean, Janath and Spills had ripper intros. I don't think I can top that. But yes, I was with Spills in person, witnessing that goal after the siren. Yeah, I felt so bad for him because I know if that was Hawthorn, I'd be feeling so crap. So yeah, I feel so unlucky.
Right, mate. You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, so yeah, very stiff. Very happy with the Hawks, and they're going so good. I couldn't really care what's happening in Supercoach at the minute with my current mess at the minute with it. So no, I'm doing fantastic. It's an honor to jump on the podcast. It's such a good podcast. Listen to it most weeks. So yeah, it's an honor to be on here. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you for coming on, mate. Been a long time coming. Obviously, come on my channel for the Hawthorn team previews each year, mate. But really, really good to have you on, legend. Now, let's get into the meat of this, boys. So, Good Friday appeal. I think I actually need to update this. Need to check this out after the potty, Janath. Should have been a little bit more organised, mate. But yeah, thank you again to anyone that has purchased a beanie or any of our hoodies or different merch on the Swordplay website, supercoachswordplay.com. Remember, $5 from every beanie purchase does go to the Royal Children's Hospital Good Friday appeal. And we'd love to get, close to the 500 mark. So thank you very much again for everyone that has been supporting us and cannot wait to actually deliver that in person, boys. And as always, a big thank you to our sponsors at Speedy Tees. Taylor and the crew there. Steve, I know you're not a father yet, mate, but if you were, take a look at these designs, mate. absolute elite from the crew there up in Kilmore. So thank you very much for your support. And we'll be actually getting in some new merch very, very soon. Hoodies are being very popular, but just a standard jumper for some people. So very, very excited to get them up soon. And thank you very much again to Taylor and the crew. Now, boys, let's get into these round reviews. Now, I might quickly just go into mine because bottom of the potty this week, sad face. Now, it's not an absolute disaster. I went down just a few spots. So still around the mark at the moment, but my hopes and dreams of, I think, a top 500 rank at this stage really depend on carnage to other teams. Now, I had a big decision to make, a little bit of strategy to this last week. Because Dacos was playing the first game, I thought, look, very highly owned player. Let's just say that he absolutely spuds it up. I'm going to chuck the emergency on him. Now, at the time, I didn't have 7 defenders there. I had Zach Fisher there along with Zach Reed. So I thought, look, the method to the madness here is that if Dacos spuds it up, I can actually trade Fisher to another defender and I won't have to take Dacos' score. So with a 60-odd score, I thought, no, I can do better than this. 2 players I had in mind, McKercher and Nicky Newman. Now, I didn't go down the McKercher line simply because the fact that durability has been a little bit questionable for him this year. And I thought my luck would just be get him in for a game. He goes out again. So I went with a 2% pod. This is 2% in the top 1% pod in Nick Newman. He got a nice 107, so delivered pretty well there. But Bailey Dale, the other pod down there, boys, what on earth? This bloke just wasn't hungry, wasn't calling for the ball. Lockie Bramble's taking his kick-ins. It's just, it was a train wreck for Bailey Dale this week. So had the good, the bad, and the ugly, and ended up taking Sheez's VC score of what was at about 122. The backup would have been Bond. So decided to play it safe again for about the 2nd or 3rd week in a row. But last time I'm going to complain about this, Tristan Xerri. If I had to go on him over Grundy and saved a bit of coin in the process, that rank, who knows where it would be. But pretty par round for me, fellas. And top 500's probably the goal from here. Spillsy, you're next here, mate. A very solid round from you, 25-8-1, and a 3-figure sum in the green arrow range there, mate. So tell us about your week, brother.
Yeah, it was a good week. Like, it was definitely the response week that I've been looking for, let's be honest, about 6 weeks now. And for a split second there, I actually did think I was top of the pod until I looked at Janath's side and I just thought, there's no way I can compete. I mean,
Hannah's having a laugh.
It's a good week, but it's been a terrible season. Absolute failure. And speaking of failures, I had one on Saturday. So I did DR. I did what you did a few weeks ago with the Freo boys. I VC'd Sheezel for Livingstone. So why did I do that? I'm not sure. I think I literally just had the dumbest moment ever and just forgot that they were playing each other. Like, all I knew was like, I'm going to VC Sheezel. But then looking at the app, I'm like, hang on a second. I think they're playing each other. What am I doing? And yes, boys, it was too late. So one crack at the captaincy, but look, got out of jail on the occasion, 122. I'm not going to argue too much with that, particularly with the last few weeks. It's a VC score that I would have been happy to take. The fallback was going to be Butters, who, look, only put 9 points on him. So it's not all curtains. Clark. So, yeah, Jordan Clark, he is my best on ground for the week. So as a pod, 138, he was just tremendous for me. A really nice asset. The whole side was solid all around, but I think it's the sides like Janath, what separate me is having the cover and being able to the benches that emergency facing a tag, and that's just such a good advantage to have. So they're the 1%ers that I don't really have in my side. It's not a luxury that I have. So look, good week, but I can't compete at the moment. So I'm just going to try and finish off strong and get the best possible rank. But in summary, it has been a bit of a failure season. But yeah, we move on. And speaking of which, Janath, how obviously had a great week, mate. 2-6-4-4. I know I'm pretty sure it was a side that went 2,900. I've never seen a score crazy. That big. So
who are these
there were
people?
some bangers, mate. Absolute bangers.
Give us a spell.
But yeah, talk us through your week, man.
Yeah, it was a good week. Started similar with you, D. I put the emergency on Dacos, and my toss-up was whether Kerno and Jackson would go above 66 or not. And the problem for me, and in this is why I say everything happens for a reason, is Kerno was under the cloud. Would he be laid out or not? And if I put him on the field and he was a laid out, there's no forward cover there. So I'm going to cop a donut. So it was either take the 66 or risk it with Kerno. And look, Kerno played and he got 17. And I'm like, it's unbelievable.
You would read about that, honestly.
You would. It's
just very unlucky.
It's incredible. So luckily dodged the 17, took the 66, which isn't great, but I feel like everyone had Dacos on field anyway. VC Cheezel, like you, Spillsy, it was looking really good until he got kicked. I don't know who it was, but kicked someone in the shin, and then that became an ankle, and he just looked like he was hobbling the rest of the game.
Yeah,
He's still
I didn't see what happened.
So the fact he got to 122 in itself is enough, but I think last week was a great example where the matchup data and all the captaincy sort of data that Ross and I had done really came through, and it sort of made a lot of sense. So every player we recommended, Butters, Sheasel, Merritt, Heaney, Bont, Sinclair, all went 120 or close to 120, which is enough for that captaincy threshold. Even Sarong 114. McKirch and Ryan in defense really built up that score. But the main MVP for this week, Dion, and I think you know where I'm going here. A man who we wanted to go big as we held him, Maximus Gorn, 177.
Like, son.
Thank you, mate. I was at a dinner dance with my dad's old school on Saturday night. So I would check the scores. Gorney was on about 50 or something at halftime. And then he's just pumped out at 120 points second half, something along those lines. Very casual, but look, great guns there. This week, I'll tell you what, when we get to the captaincy, it is not going to look as sunsets and roses with the captaincy this week. So not looking forward to it, but let's move on. But 283 this week will be sort of the end of me, I reckon. English, Kerno, possibly Sheasel, and Dowling got dropped as well. So we'll see how we go this week.
Not bad. Yep.
We'll get to the injuries in the hot topics, but top of the pod, no surprise, Janath still sits there, and I don't think there's any chance, Spills, that we'll manage to go past him. We'll need an absolute miracle, but great to see you, mate, inside that top 300 again, my man. Now, Steve-O, it is time for you to take the spotlight here, mate. Now, we have talked a bit this year, mate, and look, I must say that I still think a ranking within the top 9K with all the competition we got this year is a fantastic rank, mate. A very, very solid rank. I know you're not overly happy with it. So we do have a bit of a round review for you here. You can go into a bit of a season review if you like. The floor is yours, mate. But just to brighten things up, I do have the pick of us at our last football game, Brisbane Hawthorn. I'm your good luck charm, as you've mentioned a couple of times, mate. But good to see that you are finally starting to see some more live wins that don't just involve our two clubs, buddy. But take us away, mate. How's your season been? Tell us about your round, and the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, DR. I'll very openly, I'll very much talk about when I'm having a good season. So it's only fair when things haven't gone to plan this season like I thought they would. So my round score, I think everything on this screen on the left here I'm not proud of, but I do have a trade. Somehow. So that's all right. But yeah, I mean, just I guess my life's gotten a bit busier, so maybe it's just one of those things where I haven't paid as much attention as I would have in the past couple of years. So certainly, I think my one positive this year has certainly been my captain choices. I think they've been amazing. Share to third man up, they've certainly helped me out. I still remember,
absolutely, yeah.
Messaging Janath about who do I go. I forgot who the other option was, but it was round two
versus I think it was the Bont.
I swear you've got a photographic memory, man.
Bont versus Butters in round two. he said to go with Butters, and he got a 175 against the Tigers at the G. So shout out to Janath there. I guess a very quick round review. I actually looped Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos is 66, but my problem was Will Dawson was playing on the Saturday afternoon, and I couldn't do any other looping because I traded out Zach Fisher. And I'll tell you what, a bloke that came back from the dead, Marty Hoare. Hello.
Oh, Marty.
Where on earth? But I realised, I'm thinking, oh, crap, he might be the sub. So I'm just like, I'll have to take this Dacos 66 just in case. And it worked out anyway because he scored a 54 in a full game. I vice-captained Butters, would have captained Bont if that didn't pay off. But I didn't see a second of that game because I was with Spills, unfortunately, with that. Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
Oh, man.
Cop the Kerno 17. I have Marty Hoare as my only player. I'm playing on the bench, and I've got Kerno with one trade left. I had two trades heading into the round. I went, you know what? Perfect time now, and clearly not a perfect time because now I could use two trades now. But I decided, so I guess part of my season carnage, I had a choice in round 14 to go either Nick Blakey or Lachlan Westfield. And I went Nick Blakey. Just because I thought it was the fun pick. Oh, my season's going terribly. Let's have a bit of fun. We get to watch a reptile for the last 10 games. And guess what? He hasn't scored a ton since round 16, up until this week, of course, on Friday night. So I lost 10 points with bringing in Nick Newman for him. But I think I don't mind Nick Newman because now with Sard out, he should be getting all the kick-outs, stuff like that, with St Kilda and West Coast to come. So that's not too bad. I'll take it. But I guess what other stuff has happened? I brought in Tom Green at 660K. I was driving home from work, round 14. I thought I saved all my team and everything. I thought I had the VC on Dane Zorko against St Kilda. I stopped the car. I'm home. The game, it was 7:40, and I see that my VC is on Caleb Sarong, not Dane Zorko. Now, of disgust I had with him having a 100-point half.
Steve, before you go on, is this the week where you captain Zach Fisher?
Yes. So I VC'd. So my fullback after Zorko was Luke Ryan, so I just VC'd Ryan, and then I captained. I don't know who to go. Harry Sheasel, Zach Fisher. Let's go, Zach Fisher.
The fish.
He scored a 71 and missed the game-winning goal.
It would have been so handy for you if you kicked it too.
Oh, yeah.
I think my highest rank was in round 3, where I was actually off to a decent start. I was like 6K rank, but then I've been in between 6 and 11K rank for the entire season. Where I'd go up a little bit, then just go right back down, then back up a little bit, right back down. It's just a really shit roller coaster this season. Not even any massive drops. It's just a bit. It's like a kid's roller coaster I've had this season. Roller coaster. Yeah, it's a boring roller coaster. It's like Ross Lyon's game plan roller coaster. I've had this.
100%.
So obviously this season hasn't gone to plan, but the community has been absolutely amazing. I hit 1K subs on my YouTube channel. Shout out to
well done, mate.
That has started the year. Mate. Been involved in a lot of other stuff. So community, certainly the community has been unbelievable this season, and I think that tops the season that I guess the Supercoach season. Just just having interacting with everyone, that sort of thing. That's really the main thing. And it's been a really enjoyable season regardless. But fair to say for the last two rounds and going forward for the rest of the season, I'm all on the Hawks over Supercoach. Obviously, of course, I'll still try. I'm in one prelim out of 12 leagues, so I've got one left.
Got a chance, mate. There's a chance for glory.
SDS TikTok League. I'm in a prelim, but nice. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, that's a little summary. A lot of ups and downs, but it's been great fun with the community this season. So there's my I guess my season review, round review, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there you go.
Very, very nice, mate. And I tell you what, you'll bounce back in a big way next year. Definitely. And the Hawks, what's going on with all the selfies, mate? Celebration. You into this type of operation, or is it Leigh rising? Did you love it? Do you?
No, I love it. I mean, whatever makes them feel most comfortable on a footy field. If that means doing little photos and walking on the park and stuff.
I saw that. That was elite.
Yeah, whatever.
I think they need to step up their celebration game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it is very good. And so do other sides. Just so vanilla.
Yeah, so it's been an unbelievable season from Hawthorn. I think anything is just a bonus at this point. I mean, being in the top 8 now is just unbelievable, considering we were 1-6 to start the year. You think about the Port Adelaide game and all that stuff. So, it's been a very good Hawthorn season. So I'm very excited for the final 2 games. We'll see where that takes us because, things are happening with the Hawks again. And, hopefully your side won a flag because we're back.
Very, very nice. Absolutely purring. You don't want to play Hawthorn at the moment, do you? No, not a team.
You love hockey, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the next one here. I'm having a rant. Now.
Oh, what is this?
Look at the score. Look.
Oh.
Boys, 8 goals, 16. 8 goals, 16. Joey Danaher, Charlie Cameron. Spills gave a couple of rockets to some of his Essendon boys. There's 2 I'm going to give a rocket to. How on earth you miss some of these goals? It is absolutely beyond me. We should have had this game won and iced in the first quarter. I'm telling you, it is absolutely ridiculous that we lose this game. And the repercussions were huge. We would have been sitting a clear second at the moment. Yet now we find ourselves out of the top 4. It's no guarantee we're going to beat Collingwood at the G this week either. So I'll tell you what, bad kicking is bad football. Now, we talked about also just before, Steve, the fact that Hawthorn, they're very good celebrators, mate. They're very good celebrators. Brisbane, unfortunately, the last couple of weeks have not been very accurate with their kicking. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you boys a man here that not only can kick accurately, but also give a fair celebration as well. Yeah, Spillsy.
What am I doing here, boys?
Outfit as well. Now, what's with the little flip type operation? I never knew you were this flexible, mate.
I don't know, mate. Just pulled it out of the trick bag, I guess. But I'm looking at these hockball celebrations. There's even a TikTok dedicated to it, boys. You can rank the hockball celebrations. And I thought, look, I need to whip out my own celebration. And to be honest, boys, that wasn't even the worst one. Went to the footy oval at lunchtime. I've been doing that with one of my mates from work because we got a lunch hour. So we got a lot of time on our hands. So I've been going, have a kick and not only practicing the goal kicking, but really practicing the celebrations. There was a celebration, a pretty easy goal, but there just happened to be a car driving past behind the goals. I kicked the goal and I ran towards the boundary line and just sort of, I don't know, gave me a bit of a shush. I don't know why I did it. It was unbelievable. I'm looking back, a bit ahead of myself here, boys. Oh, but yeah, look, you are right, DR. Bad kicking is bad football, and I know this because, I support the Dons, who are, notorious for 1 goal 9 in the fourth quarter. So, I know all about the pain, mate. It is very frustrating.
Well, speaking about that pain, mate, your tweet of the week. Off you go, son.
Take the cake, boys. This has to. I mean, speaking of falling off your chair, so yeah, this week's tweet of the week is from the Gold Coast Suns. So both came second. So yeah, you got unfortunately, I forgot his name, but you got the Turkish shooter, the Mafia guy. He comes second place, very stiff. But so do the Bombers, boys. We come second place, and I just thought it was grouse that it was Draper of all people doing the shooting action with the number 2 on his back. That's second. That's Essendon. So yeah, we are definitely a second place team. So yeah, this tweet was very hard to beat. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, got a good laugh out of it. Sometimes when you either cry or you laugh being a Bombers supporter, and I think this is one of those times where I don't have any tears left, so we just got to sit back and laugh, boys. So, see what happens. What do you reckon?
Spillsy,
that's a good one. That's up there with your best, Spillsy.
Well, it has to be pretty close because I've only done 2 so far. So if it's the best one, then George is a bit stiff.
I actually heard another caller on SDN today, and once again it was Bruce from Kilmore.
Oh,
I know. You boys haven't heard much about it, but after that goal celebration, it's now that Hawthorn are on your radar after seeing that. So
there we go.
Yeah, bit of a battle for Mr. Spiller's service.
Do you know what? SDS, Steve, I reckon the Blues are going to come with another 10-day contract. They're going to drive down to Bendigo right now. John Spiller, you're going to have a contract at your doorstep, mate. Get over on the next flight to Perth.
I've got to hit form in Bendigo League Resis first before we get that offer, but I do appreciate the kind words from you legends. It's it's nice. What you don't see in that video are the behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, a few absolutely butchered shots. That was one of a few that I slotted, but with the help of a bit of tailwind, I may add. But yeah, boys, there are some stinkers. So
love it, mate. Love it. And a big shout out to the legend SEN caller. That is Brucey from Kilmore.
Brucey.
Seems like a good boy.
Great bloke is Brucey. Janath, injuries. Now, sometimes there's not a lot of relevance here. This week, however, my friend, there's a lot of relevance. So take us away. Boys, we may need to get the tissues out here because there's a few popular players under injury clouds. One big boy's been confirmed as a definite out this week. Take us through the list, mate.
I reckon I may be the only one needing tissues here. This is you under the table.
Hold it,
Charlie
last week.
Kerno.
He absolutely put the moz on you, Janath. He's like, I
just wish there's a bit of carnage. You got your wish there. Charlie Kerno, 1 to 2 weeks, ankle. We saw what happened in the game. He should have never played that game. He was clearly bothered from the previous week, which is unfortunate. Adam Sard, 1 to 2 weeks. I know a couple of legends, including Tim Mitchell at the Herald Sun, have him. 1 to 2 week hammy. I don't think we'll see him again this season. The other Sard El Howie, is not on the injury report. I just want to report that he had 21 touches, 10 score involvements, 8 inside 50s in his return VFL game. Dyson Heppel will be back in this week because it'll be his retirement game, I think, playing at home before they go to the Gabba to finish off the season, I'm pretty sure. And so whether Heppel and Sard can both come into the same side, yet to be determined, but Nick Cox is out. So that's just one to keep an eye on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Steve. We need it. We need it, mate. Sean Darcy's a test. Now, this was one of the matchups that when you think Luke Jackson against Geelong, Sol Ruckman, Ray Stanley, easy 110, right?
Disgraceful.
Wrong. Because Luke Jackson is not a Ruckman, clearly, apparently. Which makes me think that what is his actual position? Is he a midfielder? Because if you can't beat Ray Stanley and you're not a key forward, he's just the Swiss Army knife. He's just...
Yeah, it's a good point, mate. Yeah.
So,
Was
Look,
a bit
Sean
of a
Darcy's
mulligan though.
test
Like
could
every
probably
other
come
game,
back
he's
in.
played good in the ruck when he's solo.
He
ruck.
has. He put up 173 points against Tristan Cherry earlier this year, and we're thinking that Cherry's going to be an easy opponent for Rucks, and Cherry's just gone. He's just become an incredible player. We'll talk about him very soon in more detail. Tuke Mill is finally expected to play, so Sam Flanders. And the interesting thing with Flanders is that he had 0 CBAs on the weekend. So he didn't actually attend any centre bounces against Essendon, which is an important thing to consider because otherwise he would have been a top captaincy option on the Gold Coast against Melbourne. Cogs, Stephen Knigler and Kieran Briggs are test to play this week for the Giants, so they're going to get their cattle back. I'm pretty sure they're going up against Fremantle this week. So does the return of Cogs impact a Peatling, for instance? Even though Peatling's been playing really well as of late. Harry Sheasel is in a protected moon boot, but is a test to play this week. The main thing there is that he just needs to pass a fitness test later this week. He didn't train today, and that was always the plan there. Same with George Wardlaw, another test to play this week. Sackfish is off the injury report and is available to play, but whether he
watch
plays
him go 150 now that I've buggered him off. You watch it. Just Anyway, sorry, mate. Just continue. Bloody Fisher destroyed me.
Never again, Fisher.
Never.
Teus Villapone. This one was a really late out for some coaches. Playing the second last game of the round. Great matchup against Richmond, and he's out with illness. Oh man, I know the great abs popped a donut because of this. Because you just can't plan for
it. What do you do with
you
him? Like, you've got to hold. There's no one to trade to.
You hold. He's probably back this week, but it's like at the time, like you can't do it. You got no trades.
Yeah.
If you're looping, even I think he looped someone on, and he couldn't. Charlie Kerno's there at FA. I know it's only 17 points, but at Abs's rank, 17 points is gold. That's gold right there.
But you'd be spewing if like you were one of those people that went, thank goodness I don't have to field that 17.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Mateus laid out, all right, I guess I'm fielding that 17 then. That's a bit stiff. So, that is so frustrating.
And then the big one personally is Tim English. Never again. Tim, never again English. I know my missus loves me saying that name, but I'm not. I'm just telling you right now that you're not going to hear it next year, okay? So enjoy the last of it. TBC, he may not return next week, but yes, boys, please never let me trade in Tim English again.
Oh, what a painful. I was talking with H the other day, and he traded him in for when he was around the 700k mark. And the poor bloke, it's still giving him nightmares at the moment, just on the 2025 for old H at the moment. It's just, what a trade-in it was. But we've all made a few blunders this year, boys. Some of us less than others, Janath. But, carnage all round. And I do apologise. Please don't anyone come for me for wanting a little bit of carnage, given the fact I had a couple of trades up my sleeve. I was only
you are the Supercoach devil, DR. Bad boy.
Oh, the Supercoach curse.
Just an ingrown toenail, nothing major, but
that's what I'm saying, Steve. Just something a little bit, pick them up a little bit, mate. You know, nothing too serious, buddy.
But you know what? It always comes in doubles or triples, doesn't it? Like the week, what was it? The week that we had the Rankin suspension, Gawn injury, McGovern injury, Tuke injury, Fisher injury. Like that was 5 of them in 1 week. And now this week we got the Kerno, we got possibly Sheasel, English, Filippo. It's just like, it never ends.
It's absolute carnage, mate. But let me tell you, it's also absolute carnage not owning this particular man. Now, talk about Xerri Effect. Wow, Now, boys, remember when we were giving our rankings? Was it a couple of months ago now? I'm not too sure who we thought would be R1, R2, all the rest. And to be honest, if I go right back to the start of the season, I thought, well, you're looking at Tim English, Max Gawn, Rowan Marshall, probably as being your big 3 there. Then we obviously had some other players put their hand up and step up to the plate. Xerri always looked like a nice stepping stone, a nice cash cow, but he has been arguably the best starting selection of any player this year. Still shattered, as I mentioned before, that I selected Grundy over this man. But look, over the last couple of months, this guy has been an absolute machine and gone from, solid ruckman to elite Supercoach scorer. So, boys, how many weeks will I go back here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 11 weeks, boys. So these are his scores over the last 11 weeks. 119, 131, 103, 111, 141, 119, 111, 109. But then, how's this for the last three? He's stepped this up 151, 144, and a 185, if you don't mind. Now, some of these opponents haven't been the best. He's played West Coast twice there. Geelong aren't necessarily a really strong team for rucks, but you can only play against whoever your opponent is. And boys, this bloke at the moment is an absolute killer. We will get to our VC and captaincy options a little bit later on in the pod, but I'll tell you what, let's just keep this short and simple. If you've got this man, it'd be very, very hard to deny him in your VC captain plans. Janath, you may have another option potentially in the same game this week. We'll talk about that later. But boys, I know that none of us currently own him. How painful is it? Like, I don't even know how to describe the pain. Look, Max Gawn scoring a 177 last week. That did ease it a little bit, but comparing Grundy
both of them,
Xerri,
like if you have both of them, that's close to 400 points from your two. And not to even mention the people that VC Xerri with the matchup. Like, it's so predictable when he's going to go big. Only 5 hit-outs to advantage. So he should have got 200 in
He's
that
still, wow.
He's incredible.
I haven't done the math.
Is insane.
Isn't it, mate? I think last time I heard he was the 4th highest for total tackles in the AFL. I don't know if he's gone a little bit up or down. But
keep going, DR, find that.
Yeah, the bloke is an absolute machine. We talked last week, Steve, about some of our 2025 locks, and there was no real argument. We all said this is going to be our R1 next year. How do you feel about him in your 2025 side, mate? Is he someone that you're going to select, or are you looking for a bit more value possibly? What do you reckon about Big Tristan in 2025, man?
It's very interesting. Like, I think I'm gonna try something different and just be really stubborn about starting anyone above 650 and just hunting value. I know that's a dangerous game, but I think there's some guys that might do 10 points less than him, but might be at a better price. I don't know. I have no problems with anyone starting Tristan Xerri, but probably for 2025 for me personally, I might look to go. I guess more value with my starting team, but I don't have any complaints with anyone looking to start him. He is one of the best ruckmen in the competition. Obviously, really challenging Max Gawn now for that ruck spot. So, he's played every game. He's at a really good age as well. 25 years old. He's going to be a Supercoach contender in our ruck over the next 6 years. So, as long as he can stay as a solo ruck. I mentioned this shout out to Fancast, the AFL podcast I do every now and then.
Great,
full credit to Alistair Clarkson when he came into the club in 2022. He basically said Tristan Xerri is our ruckman of the future, and basically said now Goldie played a lot the previous season just because Xerri obviously in round 1 got injured in the first game of the season. But he saw the vision with Tristan Xerri, and it's paying off absolute dividends. Obviously not on the win-loss tally, but certainly going forward for North Melbourne. Him tapping down at Sheasel, Wardlaw, LDU over the years to come, McKercher, is going to be an exciting side for North Melbourne. So, look, I could very much change my mind on starting Tristan Xerri. I might, everyone's starting him. I'll just go, I'll join the crowd. But he's an absolute jet. I have no problems with that. I just might go in a different direction.
Nah, good to see you going a little bit different, mate.
Tackles, DR, and 7th for clearances.
Wow. Very, very impressive, isn't it?
It's a good formula. Good formula for Supercoach ruckman, for sure.
Absolutely. And great decision by North to keep on to him, not just flog him off to St Kilda when they were interested.
Look at this, right? So we're both You boys are laughing at English. I don't see Grundy here either. It's just like, it's so unpredictable.
Good call.
It is, isn't it?
Where is he?
One thing I noticed as well, Grundy hasn't played this many games in a season since 2019. I just reckon this is first time in a long time where he's played this many games in a row. I just think fatigue's starting to catch up with him. It's just, the seasons, the AFL nowadays is tougher and bigger and stronger as it's ever been. And it's, I just think he's just getting a bit tired now. And he obviously had a great start to the year, but obviously struggling a bit now.
Yeah. Very good, boys. I don't want to talk about him anymore. So let's move on.
Nah, neither do I.
All right. The hot topic this week. This is a big one, boys. Now, Steve mentioned that he's still got a trade in the bank. Yeah. I've still got a trade in the bank. Janath, Spills, your situation currently, boys? That's a bit of bad luck. Well, for those of us that were a little bit more frugal, let's just say, such as Steve and I, we want to talk about some options for the run home. So what we're going to do this week is we've got 4 price brackets here. We've got 300 to 400, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and then 600K plus. We're going to give you one option each that we think could be a nice option on the run home if you are lucky enough to have a trade or two up your sleeve. So, look, boys, I reckon we'll start with the lowest price bracket here, 3 to 400. We might have a different starting person each time. Janath, we might go with you first here, mate, with the 3 to 400 range for a defender. So, if you had 3 to 400K and you're looking for a defender this week, who are you looking to bring into the side, brother?
A 3 to 400K defenders, it's very, very slim pickings. I had a look before. There's not many I really like, but if I was to go purely off matchups, I'm going to say Josh Weddle.
How you didn't?
Richmond and North.
Weddle, can you see?
He's stolen.
He's sniped all over again, boys.
Yeah, look, Josh Weddle is the pick of a bad bunch. Not to say the Weddle's bad by any means, but sub 400K. He did play very well on the weekend, I have to go. But I'm just saying, like, hopefully you're in the position where you can afford more than a 400K defender. Like, if a Sheasel gets in, if Sheasel's not playing, you're not trading him down to Josh Weddle. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, very true, mate.
I love Josh Weddle team, but I mean, we're just being legit here. But yeah, let's stick with that, boys. I'll handle it over before I say something stupid.
well, I'll jump in next. I've got Weddle as well. So very similar to you, Janath. Really echo your thoughts there. Pretty much, and we're not saying bad players, Steve. Traditionally, he hasn't been a great Supercoach option this year, but out of the bunch, particularly playing Richmond this week, I think he scored 97 the week prior. I think he's probably one that I'd look to get in, and a really, really fun and exciting player to watch. Just love the way that he just makes things up on the spot. He sort of gets the ball, just goes with it, and super, super player.
And his thinking is dead straight.
Yeah, he's a gun. He's going to be an absolute jet, I think. Spillsy, 3 to 400K, mate, in defence. Who are you going? You jumping on the Weddle train, or you going a little bit rogue here, mate?
Well, Weddle was the obvious one, but I'll steer away from that because you boys have already touched on him. There's a couple that spring to mind that aren't really too bad. I don't know if you'd really pick him realistically. Am I only allowed to say 1 or 2, boys? Can I say 2, or is that not allowed? What's the go? Pardon?
As long as you don't steal Steve's pick.
If I do, then
Essendon are always been known as cheats anyway.
Yeah, we are.
Mine's a honker. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm not admitting him. He's a Giants fan apparently now. Anyway, so
whatever you throw at me, so it's all good. No, boys. Someone I don't mind is Corey Wagner. So he's sort of not the best 3-round average, but I think he could be the new Luke Ryan apprentice, if you will. Played a lot of chip to.
Lucky you said apprentice there. I thought, geez, How much are you talking up Warner the new Luke Ryan? What's he going to triple his average?
Yeah, hasn't really aged too well, but you get into the nosebleeds here, boys, and I don't know, the other one was
Absolutely
probably
mate.
Common. He's really dropped off a little bit, but he was looking really, really good like a month ago. So I know it's
do you want to have a quick stab at how many teams total that Corey Wagner's in?
Probably like
teams
negative,
total.
probably 0, be like
404.
78 teams.
78 teams.
Wow.
Probably himself
as
well.
You looking for a pod? No, I don't know. No way.
I tell you what.
You better not just pick more countries or something.
I like it, Spillsy.
Love it, Spills. Steve, who do you reckon in this range, mate? A defender between 3 to 400k.
I've gone Christian Salem.
Oh, yes. There we go.
I guess sort of the thought process is that I don't know. He might play. I haven't watched. I don't think I've watched him in 2 months. But I mean, they got Gold Coast and Collingwood. Neither side's tag, except randomly they tagged Goulden last week. But I guess if you just want a bloke that that you just know has done it in the past, I don't think that's too bad. But yeah, I think Weddle was a better shout there.
Oh, no, you just try not to be biased, mate, with your Hawks here, mate. But
I've got a few other Hawkers. Don't worry.
Oh,
very nice, mate. And I'll tell you what, into the future, the way you boys are going, these young guns, there may be some very popular Supercoach picks as well, mate. All right, boys. Onto the midfield here. Now, I don't know how many people are going to be looking for a 3 to 400k midfielder, but Spillsy, if you were someone in this position, who would you go, mate? A midfielder between 3 to 400k.
I'll tell you straight off the bat who I'm not going, and that's Tommy Barras. He has checked out, boys. He's packed his bags. Steve, he's off to the Hawks next year. What a get that he's going to be. But, lads, I can't. It's defender mid, DPP. We started with him, Matty Roberts. I can't go past him. He's the informed player in the game, and he's nearly 500k, boys. So like you're paying up for him, but he's not bad cover. Like what do you reckon?
Spillsy a splurging, mate. We're still on the 3 to 400kers.
Yeah.
We are. Oh, I'll go on the early crom here, boys.
Spillsy's just added on probably an extra trade needed here in 200k or something to the
one trade I don't have. All right, well that's why next round one taken. So sorry, boys.
Fine. You can have Roberts on next round.
All right, Roberts is next round.
Bastard.
We'll give you a little bit of time to think that one over, then Spills, since you had Roberts there. Janath, what magic you got for us, mate? 3 to 400k in our midfields.
I'm going to go with the mid forward, Matthew Kennedy.
Okay.
Devout Christian himself. Will likely play exclusive midfield. With Crip and Walshy and George Hill, with all these injuries that we have, 119, and I guess even though he's a midfielder, we could treat him as a forward as well. He's 3k up from Charlie Curnow. So if you're looking for a Curnow trade, I think Kennedy is one of, if not the best option as a trade-in option for Curnow. And there's just so much volatility around this price that it makes it really difficult to really settle on one. Like, I wanted your thoughts on Will Ashcroft DR. Like, is he back? The role isn't exactly there like it was last year, but 129 on the weekend. Collingwood, Essendon, relatively easy midfield matchups coming up. Would he be your pick at this price?
He's absolutely my pick, mate. He's absolutely my pick. I tell you what, I'd take Levi Ashcroft, even if he was at this price, because I don't know if you heard about his performance on the weekend, but boys, Nick and Josh, who? I'm not too sure, but Ashcroft's, wow, this is going to be a fun ride, boys. I tell you, he offers something different in there. He really does offer something different. And really on the weekend, although he didn't get up and win the game, his impact on the game was really profound, in scoring chains. And he just offers us, something different that Lockie Neal doesn't give us. He's got that really nice mix of inside-outside attributes, and he's going to be desperate to really make an impact, not only in the next 2 games, but hopefully in the finals this year. Obviously, he missed out last year, so I don't reckon there'll be a hungrier bloke on our list than Will Ashcroft at the moment. And I think at the price, boys, he's the one that I'd go with in this price bracket, because that he's not going to get a tag. He's got a little bit of confidence up his sleeve now, feeling better about his body. So he's without doubt, or when I say without doubt, look, we are reaching here at the price, but he's definitely my man at the price. And I'd give him the thumbs up if you are this desperate to get someone around the mark anyway.
Yep.
Spillsy. Steve. Sorry, Steve. Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah.
Give us something, mate. Come on, Steve. Hidden gem.
No, it's not a hidden gem anymore. 2 for 2 DR. Yeah, Will Ashcroft. I've got it.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Yeah, so if you're in the unfortunate position of owning Steel side bottom at this point of the year in Supercoach, and you're not really liking
Side bottom.
not liking his output at this point of the season.
Getting tough.
He's just been moved into a tagging role. And you just go, nah, I've had enough. Get him out of my side. You can go 6K down and find yourself Will Ashcroft, and there could be you could get a little sneak peek of what's to come maybe in 2025 as a pick. So, I'd be going Willie Ashcroft around this pick.
I'll slot one in there now, DR. I've obviously gone the early crom. Really, really am a clown tonight, that's for sure, boys. I don't know what I'm thinking there, but I'm going to chuck Steve's boy in there. Mentioned him earlier, but Jack Ginnivan's 400K, so he's 400.
Again, he's pushing the limits.
400,600K. Oh, boys, I'm getting distracted by this is making noise in my ears, and it's like, it's rattling noise.
Bad work on blames his tools.
It is so distracting. Steve, I've got Ginnivan in here at the moment. So, obviously Richmond North, so pretty friendly end to the season. And
we'll give him Ginnivan. He's $600 over. It's okay.
That's
as long as he's not like 401, I think. Does it pass the pub test, Janath?
Ginnivan is purely a vibes pick. You're not picking him expecting him to score each week. You just picking him because he's an entertainer.
Well, Spillsy's got the Ginnivan vibes. The old jush to the random car going past. So
yeah,
at the moment.
That was definitely a please explain moment, but I can see where he's coming from.
Say that again.
Love it, mate. Very good. All right, boys, we are onto the forwards now. I don't think I've gone first yet. So now I'm hoping that this man will be fit and healthy, but I'm going with Mateus Philippou. I don't think there's major concerns, are there, at the moment, Janath, with him? I think he's right to come back this week. And if so, I think he's pretty hard to deny with the role at this price. At really any price under 500K, we're not getting any really decent forward options, in my opinion. So, Philippou is a man that I would go there purely based on role and a pretty decent 3-round average if he gets up.
Okay.
Steve, we might go to you now, mate. Switch your order up a little bit. Do you have a forward between 300 to 400K that you would recommend if you're that desperate?
And I don't think it comes with too much surprise this time. I've also got Mateus Philippou here as well.
Mate.
I don't know. In my opinion, I think he's the clear cut 300 to 400K forward if you're looking around that price range. If you don't have more than 5K left in the bank and you've got to trade and you've got to get rid of Curnow, then I think Philippou is that guy at that price range there where he's playing midfield. He's got Geelong and Carlton left. Geelong's not too bad. Carlton, I mean, they're a little bit banged up now, so maybe that's all right. I think Mateus Philippou, probably the guy if you're looking around that range.
Beautiful. Spillsy, you going to chuck Mateus in too? 3 from 3, mate?
No, he's good. He's very good. I do rate him. So happy to run with that one.
All right, Mateus for Spills.
Can't think of anyone else. I can't think of anyone else.
I'm not going to be vanilla here. Can go really outside the box. I'm going to do a little bit of guess who. I wear a helmet.
Darcy Jones.
Darcy Jones, yes. Well done, boys.
No, he's due
96
for a
and
howler.
97 in his last two. He's due for a
Very nice.
He
He's
is.
playing a
I'm an
good
owner.
role.
I haven't even been able to bank any of his scores. Frustrating me.
Bills, I reckon that's a personal problem, mate. Come on. You would take 96 and 97 in the forward line right now. Come on.
Oh, yeah. He's good cover.
96 and 97. Look, Filippo is the obvious one. But, for instance, if you already have Filippo or you just don't want Filippo for some reason because he's, I don't know, injury prone or illness prone, Darcy Jones, last two games, 2 weeks ago against Hawthorn, he had 16 touches, 6 marks, 7 tackles. Any player that has 16 disposals, 6 marks, 7 tackles is built for Supercoach. That's how you just accumulate those stats. But this week, 1 mark, 2 tackles, 18 touches, but there was those 2 fourth quarter goals that really elevated his scoring. He's very volatile. I get that. 334K just as an alternative to Filippo, not saying that he's better than Filippo. I have Filippo ahead of him as well.
Beautiful, mate. Now, always good to offer more than one name for those that may already have the poo in their side. I think we've all got a bit of poo in our side anyway, without owning Mateus, to be quite honest, boys. But that price range is done. Let's move on to the 400 to 500K price range. And Spills, you already jumped the guns
I'll
here
this one out, boys.
with your defender. Matty Roberts, I believe, mate.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely butchered that before. Gone way too early. But I really like Matty Roberts. I think he's basically the maximum price too. Like, he just sort of squeezes in there, and he's still got a great role. And I can't believe, I myself anyway, trade him out when he was like peanuts still, basically, compared to what he is now. And he did drop off the perch a bit, but he's bounced back in crazy fashion. So he's the one I like, boys. I don't know if you have a different one. What about yourself, DR? Who are you thinking, man?
Do you know what? I don't know if you can see this. I actually had Matty Roberts there as well. I didn't mention it, mate.
Man, great
I
minds.
wanted to wait
Great
for the
minds.
actual correct price range myself, mate. But yeah, look, I'm on with you. And look, I think with Matty Roberts, when we did trade him out, I think it was probably the right time. Spillsy, I was actually thinking about trading him back in after a couple of decent matches, but didn't end up going there. Went to another direction.
D7.
But yeah, I think it's a pretty decent shout, mate, Matty Roberts. And yeah, he's been, I think, one of my better starting picks, to be honest, this year, because scored really well for us. And at the same time, gave us, what was it, 250K? He made more? I'm not too sure. Janath?
He did his job.
I have to go
that's for
before
sure.
Steve. I have to go before Steve.
All right, mate.
Oh.
Jump in. Who are we going?
He knows what I'm going to say. That's why. I'm going to go with 400, 500K Massimo D'Ambrosio.
Oh.
Is he in
Make
that range?
over. Yeah, go
Massimo's
for it.
430K. Look, he's got these last. I'm going to go back to round 10 because he's had 2 bad scores and the rest of them have been above 90. 100, 110, 57, 106, 30. So those 2 are the bad scores, 57 and 30. But then before that, 91, 91, 106, 92, 103, 107, 102. He just keeps hitting that 190 to 110 range week in, week out.
On a
Safe
wing.
as Scouser's pick. On a wing,
Yeah.
playing a good role. And now he's got Richmond and North Melbourne. I think we're going to have a lot of Hawthorn flavour in this segment coming through. Just very quickly also, Matty Roberts. I think he's the first player this season. I'm not sure on previous seasons, but the first player this season to make 200K twice. So made 200K the first time, came all the way back down, made 200K again. So just
Very
small tidbit
nice.
there.
Very
Great
nice.
start.
Yeah, I didn't have him in that range for some reason, but absolutely, yeah, great selection in that price range. Steve-O, are you going with Mr. Massimo yourself, or a different hidden gem here, mate?
No, I'm not actually. I thought just a real quick rant as well about my season as well. I remember a couple of weeks ago, similar to DR's situation, where I had the option to trade Joe Richards to Matty Roberts. before the Sydney Western Bulldogs game. I decided not to. I wanted to hold on my trades. And then Matty Roberts is the high scorer of the round and scores a 161. So,
Jeez, mate, that sums it up, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. I've actually got Max Holmes just because of the thought process of. I know he's been a bit down on form recently. That might be due to Tom Stewart. I guess there may be that sort of reversed roles there, but with St Kilda and West Coast to come for the rest of the year, for a bloke that, I mean, for most of the year, he was around the mark of a top 8 defender or even in the conversation. So I think I'll go Max Holmes to bounce back for the last 2 games.
Beautiful, mate. Very, very nice. All right. I think we're on to the midfielders now, boys. I'll jump in with this one. 400 to 500k mid that I'm pretty keen on is the Noah Coaster.
Noah Anderson. He stole it. Look at this. Come on.
Did I get it? Did I?
He stole it.
Very nice. Very nice. Lucky I jumped in first here because it just looks like I'm jumping on everyone's backs here. Like it's like
just draft all over
with all the rest.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Lucky I jumped in
the easiest pick.
Yeah, great fixture obviously coming up as well. Not playing much for midfield. So the Noah Coaster, you know that he's going to either go really, really big or give you a bit of a stinker, but I just don't see a tag coming in the next 2. So given the fact that I don't see a tag, he's a bloke with a massive ceiling. He's a pod, definitely the one that I would look to go. And shout out to another bloke from Sydney as well that had a huge game last week that has been a disappointing trade in after the bye, post-bye. Janath, you're obviously thinking the same there, mate, with the Noah Coaster. Anything you want to add to that selection, mate?
That's okay, mate. You can have him. His last game against Melbourne, 189 at People's First Stadium last year. And I think Melbourne have become an easier matchup this year with Clary out of form, Petrarch on the sidelines. Should be a smash play here. And I guess the Richmond round 24 as well. Super good matchup there. Chad Warner is the one that you meant that you were alluding to there, DR. I think he's a fine pick. If I was to go a little bit outside of the box, otherwise, the Hornet, like, is he?
Yeah.
He just feels like a player that would be right for a showdown. Like, I know in the past he's done okay in showdowns. Yep. Adelaide and Fremantle last 2. Port have to win to finish top 4. I just think that he's just primed for massive end of season and final series in particular. So, look, I'd probably go, I'd go Noah Anderson first, probably Chad second, Horn Francis third as sort of a pod play there.
Very, very nice. Spillsy, midfielder, 400 to 500k, mate. Who are you going?
Oh, it's tricky. I can try back in one of my blocks for next year, boys, and just go super consistent Dunkley. Just like him. He's just so... Yeah, he doesn't really disappoint. I'm not really sure he scored on the weekend, but he's someone that I really don't know.
What really?
Spills is it?
Wait, what are we doing? Are we doing 500 to 600? No, 400, 500.
Oh,
boy. He must be thinking about Kyle.
I need a spell, boy. I'm all over the shop.
Kyle, the great Kyle. Yeah, playing some VFL footy with the Lions. Yeah.
Just sack me from this segment, I reckon, boys. Calling the Dons a bunch of jokers. I think you boys are looking at the real joker tonight.
It's okay, mate. It's okay.
This is a really... All right, someone else go.
Can we submit this to Amy? Amy Clangers?
Yeah.
I think I need it, Janath, because this is as bad as it gets.
Good old mate. Yeah.
I apologise for
That's okay, mate.
Bang average content. Terrible.
Steve, go on, mate.
All right. All right. Well, I was having a quick look. I actually didn't realize Noah Anderson or Chad Warner were in the under 500k range. So if I knew that, I would have gone with them. But I've gone with Will Day.
Nice.
Yeah, I know he's dropped a couple of howlers recently, but with Richmond to come. He was tactically subbed off last week and he got tagged the week before. I think Day is probably due for an absolute skyrocket score. If you're in a prelim final and you're just looking where you may be 100 points projected behind, I think grab Will Day heading into that Richmond game, and you could be rewarded massively. So I'm going to go Day there.
Like it, mate. Like it. All right, boys. Now we are on to the forwards in between 4 to 500k. Steve, I don't think you've started yet, mate. You got a forward in mind, 4 to 500k?
Yes, I do. Back-to-back Hawkers. I'm going with Connor McDonald. Basically playing like Dylan Moore light at the minute. He's getting 20 plus touches a game very recently. He's got Richmond to come, North to come, where Hawthorn just need to win games, and when they need to win games, as like every team, they need to kick goals. And I'm going to chuck Connor McDonald in there. So, yeah, very simple there. If I could have afforded him, I would have done it. Yeah, so I think I've gone with Connor McDonald here.
Very, very nice, mate.
Nice, mate.
Janath, you going with C-Mac or got someone else in mind here, buddy?
No, I've got 3, but I'll stick with one. I'm going to go with my boy, James Peatling.
JP.
JP, just going to hang with him. 93, 133, 96, 100 the last 4. Arguably best on ground against Brizzy on the weekend. So I don't think that his role will change much. Just looking at the CBAs at the Giants, it is a bit all over the place, but Tom Green 100% bound to come down surely. Kelly 72. Sorry, not Kelly. So Bedford 72, Peatling 64. So those were the 3 main mids, and I think you could probably facilitate Cogs into that mix as well. So not too concerned there. If you boys haven't mentioned these 2 other names after DR and Spills go, I'll mention them. But go on, boys. You too.
Spillsy, you got anyone in mind, mate? Before I give my take here.
Oh, yeah. So I think I'm actually looking in the right area for once, boys. So, and gee, it's funny. It's slim pickings, isn't it? There's just not much going on. I would have said the big Kahuna, like in current form, but obviously missed. But he's got to be due for a big one. And I'm going with my F6 at the moment, Jai Simpkin. Now, he's the biggest tease ever because he starts off so good. Like he's on 55 at halftime in like his last 3 games, I reckon, and then just finishes on mid-70s. Like, what's he doing in the second half? Honestly, he's due for a big one.
Can we rant about that, Spills, very quickly? He was on 84 when the game ended. Had a hold in the ball call in the last 2 minutes, effective touch to LD, and he got scaled down 10.
Oh no, I had no idea about that.
It's ridiculous, Janet. It's seriously. I was looking at the same thing. It's criminal. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
It's not like he went missing. Like, you understand if a player doesn't touch it or is on the bench to finish it, but he impacted the play and he went down 10.
Yeah. I've got no words.
Game we love.
All right. I'll jump in then. Now, 2 special mentions. I don't know if these are any of the blokes you're thinking of, Janice, but Jeremy Cameron is a bit of a shout along with Tommy Powell. But I'm going with my boy, Cam Rayner. Over the last, let's say, month and a half, boys, this bloke has really put his hand up and said, this is why Brisbane selected me over blokes like Andy Brayshaw, because he's got X factor. And at the moment, cannot be tackled, guys. Cannot be tackled. And apart from last week, obviously didn't win the game. A couple of weeks before that, he was such a massive influence and certainly has gone a long way to getting us over the line in a couple of those tight contests. But if I look at his scores, let's just say over the last, since round 18 against West Coast, 100, 122, 111, 99, and then the 72 last week. So consistency has always been the big issue here with Cam Rayner, but with only 2 games to go before the end of the season, coming up against Collingwood and then Essendon, he's an old Essendon supporter. I think he'll want to really get up, particularly for that last game. So I think he could be the pod that could deliver you at least one nice ceiling game in the next couple. He Could go missing, don't get me wrong, because consistency has always been the issue, but he's never been so confident in his own game. I think never as confident in his own body. Remember, came back from that ACL, always takes a little while to get over that sort of stuff. So he's the man that I'd go X factor to finish off your Supercoach team in the forward line.
Cool. And just the player that I was going to talk about is Sammy Draper, your boy, Spillsy. The matchups coming up aren't overly great against Sydney and Brisbane, but if you're looking for that sort of ruck forward flexibility that isn't Luke Jackson, the last 6 games, Draper's gone 89, 99, 99, 116, 94, 83. Many people probably didn't even know that he's got forward ruck DPP. So it's 468.6K. He's actually not playing as the number 1 ruck for Essendon. But if Nick Bryan was to be dropped for whatever reason, then Draper becomes a smash play there as a 469K ruckman who, as the number 1 ruck, has shown that he can score okay in years gone by.
Yeah, love it, mate. All right, we're on to the next range, 500 to 600K. All right, we're looking at some defenders here. Janath, who you got, mate? Are you going with one of your exes here, or
one of my exes? No. We're not going with one of my exes here. We're going to go with one of my current boys. He's back to pig status. We saw on the weekend, weeks gone by, has scored above 190 this season. I'm going to go with Luke Ryan. For those that don't own Luke Ryan at 524K, sorry, not 524, 545K, makes a really good play. 156 last week, 126 the week before. GWS, we've seen in a couple of weeks that have gone by that they're a bit susceptible to sort of designated kickers scoring well. Zork on the weekend. I can't quite remember the week before that, but I'm pretty sure that they do give up some points to that sort of designated kicker. And so that's where I'm going to go. But there are plenty of good options in this range. This is the ideal range to be shopping in for. I think this is going to be very important in case Harry Sheezel replacement is needed later in the week.
Very, very true, mate. Spillsy, who are you looking at, mate? A defender, 500 to 600K. If you could only select one. Lots of options here, buddy.
Well, yeah, normally I would say leave him alone, but I'm going to shout out my boy, Jordan Clark. Yeah, unbelievable game on the weekend. And so consistent. I don't think, I might be wrong, I don't think he's gone below the ton in my team. Like a lot of really low 100 scores, but I mean, he is as honest as days long as a pick. Just so consistent every single week. We saw his ceiling score on the weekend, and I think, yeah, he can keep that up. So, yeah, he's really hard to go past, boys. I love him. He's a good pick. Been really good for my team.
Solid.
Very, very nice. Steve-O, here you go, mate. Lots of options.
I'm going to go with similar thought process with the Holmes pick. I'm going to go Tom Stewart. Obviously, with St Kilda and West Coast to come again. I think he's had besides last week, he's had a really good run of form over the last 6 weeks. Just really picking it up in the midfield, but then also drifting down back. So I'm going to go Tom Stewart here, but there's plenty of really solid options, as it's been mentioned here, in the back line around that range.
I should have gone before you, mate. I'm on Tommy Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on Tommy. Yeah, you had Max Holmes before, so you decided to pair him up. I probably should have seen that one coming, mate. But yeah, great. Look, remember back to when owning Tom Stewart was such a nightmare this season. People are doing anything they could to jump off the pick. But this move has really, rejuvenated his Supercoach career because he's all of a sudden extremely relevant and in ripping form as well. So, great call, Steve-O. I'm with you there, mate, on Tommy Stewart. All right, getting juicy now. 500 to 600K midfielders.
Sorry, DR, very quickly. Jeremy McGovern as well. I thought you were going to say someone there. So, Jeremy McGovern, Carlton, no Harry Mackay, no Charlie Curnow. Will probably be playing a couple of debutants / makeshift forwards there. So expect Jeremy McGovern to have a field day. And then round 24 against Geelong, we just saw what Luke Ryan did against Geelong. Although it's been played at GMHBA Stadium, I think they're two really good matchups. And I feel kind of bad for getting rid of Jeremy McGovern for Sinclair a couple of weeks ago. But we can't go back in time.
Made you pay for it, no doubt about that.
Oh,
Well, it's not been a bad trade, but it's been like far out. I couldn't expect him to go 125, 155 the 2 weeks he's got back.
It's so painful when that happens, isn't it, mate?
That's okay.
Yep, no, good call as well with the Governator, mate. Very high up on my list as well. All right, boys, midfield now. Does anyone want to put their hand up to go first? Does anyone really want to jump in here?
I may as well, because
Spillsy?
I said him about 10 minutes ago when I absolutely shouldn't have. But yeah, DR, Josh Dunkley, mate. I really like him. So has Collingwood this week. I think this is revenge. I think he's going to smash him. Just contested footy. I think the Lions are going to come home really strong in their last two games. So Janath, yeah, he'd be very happy with that. But yeah, 545K boys for Dunkley. Like, yeah, sign me up if I had the trade and I needed someone to come in around the mark. And he's got Essendon at home, which is great for your grand final because it is at the Gabba. I think it's a night game too. So it should be pretty sloppy and contested. So I reckon, and we know what the Bombers do in the last month of seasons. Oh, they fall apart. So I think Dunkley's going to come home really strong. So he's my boy, I reckon.
Nice. Good pick.
All right. Well, I'll jump in then. I'm going Chocky. I'm going my boy Chocky. Now, the next two opponents here, Collingwood, no offense, Spills, but then Essendon.
None
Remember
taken.
Spills, was it a couple of years ago, Spills, where we went to the game and watched it live, the Essendon Brisbane game?
Oh my God.
And Chocky
we lost it.
Took the piss, didn't he? Absolutely.
The Bombers lost DR. We lost comprehensively. And here I am, like, in my Bombers kit, like, just jubilation going, fucking go, Chocky. How good is he?
Yeah, was this the Chocky 198 game?
That was it,
was.
Mate. That was
it. In that same game, I remember this for the worst reason, but I can't remember who was a key defender. And the ball was like rolling towards the line and he pretended to touch. That's right, James Stewart. The ball was right there and he didn't touch it through and he just let the ball go through the goals. And everyone was like, what are you doing, man?
Isn't it funny the little things that you remember? That's unbelievable, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going with Chocky because I don't see a tag coming. He's a bloke with a massive feeling. He want to do his best to try to make sure Brisbane land a top 4 spot. So Chocky Neil for me. Steve-O, who do you reckon, mate? We've gone Dunkley and Chocky so far. You going someone different?
No, we're going to stay with Brisbane, and Spills took my pick. I'm going with Josh Dunkley here. So a bit of a Brisbane theme here around this range, but for obvious reasons, they've got a really good run home. Just in case, for whatever reason, Neil was to get a tag, even though I don't think he should. Dunkley usually benefits, so he's just a fun player to watch. As Spills said, I mean, the Gabba, it's going to be nice and dewy for Josh Dunkley there on the Saturday night in the last round. So, I really like 100%. Dunkley. I have no problems with Neil either here. It's any of the Brisbane boys. Maybe
beautiful,
not Ash.
mate.
I like it.
They're one you can afford.
Yeah.
Look, it's a really tough one because I love to say Neil or Dunkley as well because when we look at matchups and you want to look at who's going to not get the tag, I reckon Brisbane's pretty safe. With tags, Merritt probably cops 1, maybe 2 tags. Otherwise, I would have said him. Sydney and Brisbane is a very tough 2 games play. So wrong. Does he or Young get the Bedford tag this week? And then Port isn't an overly easy matchup. Look, I could even say you could say Zach Butters at this price.
Yeah, I was thinking Zachary. Yeah.
Adelaide this week, and then Freo in the final round. Both of them should be good games for him because they're both really important games for the club. And I think that he'll stand up. But I'm going to go a bit left field here. I'm going to say Patrick Cripps. So
nice.
our captain, the backs
Nice.
are completely against the wall. And I remember it was a couple of years ago in his Brownlow season, that final game against Collingwood, he did everything in his power to try will us over the line. I think it was 39 touches, 25 contested, 15 or 14 clearances. He did literally everything. And he still couldn't get us over the line. And I think he's got two Brownlow worthy games in him. And I reckon there's a bit of credence here to bring in players that are going to be going for that Brownlow. Or for the Coleman, like we're going to talk. I don't know if we're going to talk them, but like there's only one really going for the Coleman and Jesse Hogan at the moment. But for the Brownlow, it's much more competitive. You got Locke Neal, Patrick Cripps. Most people have the Bont, Sarong, Butters, Merritt, maybe
Errol,
I don't know,
possibly, maybe a chance of an Errol.
I've
got the card, the Brownlow predictor. So come on, Errol, let's go, son.
But those types, I think Cripps is one of them, and so we'll go with him as the 500-600K DR. That's cheeky.
Love it.
What must Patrick Cripps be thinking at this point now? He must be going,
He's got no one.
I'm going to...
You know what? Steve? Before they went on to the ground, we had the 160-year jerseys, right? And he's tugging on this collar, playing like, come on, boys, play for the collar, play for the years gone by, and the boys just don't turn up, and that's the worst feeling.
Oh, it does hurt, doesn't it? All right. First time we're going to discuss the rucks here. Now, I'm going to keep this pretty simple, guys. I think there's probably, 3 options we look at here? Is it Meek, Gawn, and possibly a Darcy Cameron? They're probably the 3 options. Who else?
I got another one.
Oh, who else are going to tack in the mix?
Gawn, Rowan Marshall. With those two matchups come.
Is he?
So I've just
given
the minute.
Early, but he was,
Well, who you going, Janath? Who you going, mate? Out of the 4.
Where's he gone? Oh, 604. Sorry. Oh, jeez. I've done a Spills.
You've done a Spills.
It's easy to do. It's bloody easy to do. Honestly, you get carried away.
I'll take him. 604K. His last 4 have been 123, 135, 126, 126. Plays Geelong this week, then Carlton.
Yeah,
I think these are 2 games that he's going to do really well at Marvel Stadium. So
I don't think you can consider anyone else, to be honest. Even though we're considering like the prices here, like 500, 600, or 600 to 700, I think Rowan is the best.
If you can't get up to Xerri,
Xerri, he's I'm ruling him out because he's like he's like high 600 in that range.
Was it 650? How much is he here?
Are you going him over Gawn? You're going Rowan over Gawn?
Yeah,
and Cameron.
I actually would, DR. I think I would.
All
right, like if I had neither of them in the side, and I needed to train a ruckman, last 2 matchups is good.
Steve O'Heave-ho, what do you reckon in the rucks, mate? No, I just it was great for the podcast.
Last week's episode.
Steve O'Heave-ho. Very well done, mate. Again.
I'm going to go Darcy Cameron. He hasn't got great matchups for the run home, but if you're looking for a bit of a super pod, then I mean, he's just about in career best form at the minute. He's had a fantastic season, and probably a guy that's going to go down. Probably a ruckman that's going to fly under the radar for 2024. He's been magnificent for Collingwood. It's got to be the runner-up in the best and fairest, I would have thought, for the Pies. So yeah, I'm going Darcy Cameron.
Just wish that Mason Cox would leave, and he'd become so much more for like a starting pick. Like you could genuinely start him if Cox wasn't there.
On my drive to work, I hear him once a week on a radio show, like at 5:30 in the morning. I'm thinking, mate, if you could just do that full time, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. It's time to step aside. Let Darcy Cameron cook.
Do you want to know though, boys? Darcy Cameron played Brisbane early this year. He didn't get subbed out. He scored 18.
We all have a howler every now and again.
In a full game.
We know Cox has had more howlers
Crikey,
than
far
Cameron. So I'm with Steve O'Hebo. I reckon that Cox needs to step aside. He had a great prelim and set the tone, but hang him up, Coxie. Give the throne to D. Cameron.
Lots of people would be hoping to do that this week so that Krugs may get on the field for Tim English. But we'll see what happens there. Boys, I am going to go really boring and go Max Gawn. I know it's a little bit of a risk given the fact that his ankle is still absolutely stuffed.
Fine.
But I think with the news that Christian Petracca may be looking for greener pastures, I reckon that Max Gawn is going to be doing everything in his power to show track, you need to stay here, mate. Even though that finals are out of the question this year, come with me. We'll be right for next year. We'll have a nice off season, put the hard yards in, and be contenders again. So a little bit boring probably for me, but I'm going Max Gawn. And the bloke scored a 177 last week, let's be honest. So
got to give him the
Maxi for me.
And another thing as well, DR, he's got to do more convincing as well, because I saw before we recorded the podcast that Neil Bullen's looking to request a trade away back home to South Australia. So he's going to have to do a lot of convincing. It definitely sounds like at that football club, that's for sure. So,
well, let's be honest. Track's going. Clary's going to Adelaide. Viney's going to North Melbourne. Let's just completely shell the joint and start from scratch.
Say Richmond's a rabble. Look at Melbourne. They can't even get like 15,000 people at their games, and they won a flag 2 years ago. Crazy.
Big fall from Grace Spills.
They must love each other.
They must love each other.
Love it. All right, boys. Into the forward line, I'm going to go really quickly here. A bloke that I don't own, I've been trying to bring in for weeks and weeks and weeks. Going with the Hawthorn theme again. It's Dylan Moore. It's the man that I've got here on the screen. He's actually been really consistent as of late. I know earlier on this season, a real roller coaster type pick, really low up to those big heights, but been really consistent lately. And this guy is an absolute gun. Love him as a player, and I love his story as well. On the scrap heap not long ago, and now pretty much all Australian quality with what he's producing. So we've talked about the run home with Hawthorn, and that's plays a big part in why I'd go this man over a couple of the other options that we've got, because as you can see there on the screen, there are no forwards above the 600k mark at the moment. So I'm probably going to take him over the likes of Heaney's. Look, do you take him over Zorko? Probably I will, just as a big pod here. Dylan Moore, who knows what he could produce, Dylan Moore for me. Steve-O, go to you, mate. Are you also going with your boy from the Hawks, or going somewhere else?
I am going Dylan Moore. One of my favourite players at the club. I mean, I love everyone there, but Dylan Moore really stands out. If he doesn't get an All-Australian blazer this season, a bloke that I don't think plays the half-forward role any better than Dylan Moore, it would be a bloody disgrace. If they're going to chuck some midfielder that
they will. I was going to say, they're definitely going to do that.
Nah, it's an absolute disgrace if this bloke doesn't get in all really,
it'll be like Zach Merritt or something.
It's got to be Dylan Moore. My TV, I'll need a new TV if I don't see Dylan Moore. I'm that serious. Like,
you're going to be that livid. He's upsetting if he doesn't get it.
No, I shouldn't be too upset the way things are going across, but I just want to see reward for effort, and I'd love to see Dylan Moore get his finally.
Love it, mate. Love it. Spillsy, you on the Moore train, or maybe a bit of Isaac Rankin into you, mate? What are you thinking?
No, I'm definitely Dylan Moore. He needs to be recognised. I've sort of ruled out the obvious three. I think everyone's got them. So I want to be a little bit left field. Like Zorko, Flanatini, not really counting them because they're all in like 60%. Yeah. So great. I think Moore is the next one in line. So he's so hard to go past. I mean, very consistent. You got a good one there, Steve, because he could be a future captain for you guys in years to come because he leads by example, and And he,
Him and
Yeah.
Bullseye. It's going to be a tight
Yeah.
battle between those two.
yeah, well,
There might be
Harrison
co-captains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love to see that. Janath, finish us off, mate, for this position. Who we
I
like?
think we're in consensus, boys.
First
Moore's
time.
one I'd written down as well. Just
Nice.
sneaks in 501k. There's not many to pick from. There's only 8 in that 500 to 600k range, which just goes to show how bad the pickings for forwards are this year. But there's only 8 500k forwards to pick from at round 23. Really just slim pickings. And one of them is Jesse Hogan, who, look, he could go there, but I think he's basically got the Coleman sealed up now with Charlie. Look to be put on ice for the rest of the season. Home and away season.
Yeah, if Kerno was playing, this would be a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
but
it would.
yeah, I think he's just got it wrapped up now.
Yeah, seems to be, doesn't it? All right,
What
boys.
a career
last drive range.
revitalization, just
100%.
I love the
so
story.
underrated.
The story.
Hey, good on him too. Good on him too, because he's had his troubles, obviously. But yeah, we knew he was an elite as a junior. Didn't look like he was ever going to fulfill his full potential. But great to see Jesse a lot happier in life as well, from what it seems on the outside. Anyway, 600k plus here, boys. Anyone want to start off with our defense? Anyone want to jump on?
Yeah, I'll
before,
go DR.
Takes your pick. Go on, Spillsy. Who we
I'm
looking
gonna
at,
pick.
mate?
I'm gonna pick. So this is a 2 birds of 1 stone one. So I'm gonna pick a defender and a mid. I'm going Jack Sinclair.
That's top.
Ooh,
That's
very
right.
nice.
My boy.
So
me too.
solid,
Well,
consistent.
the 3 of us going Sinclair. Yeah, speak about him, Spillsy, and why.
We could be real short and sharp with this one. Like we all probably. He's a big elephant in the room. I mean, he's still got last 2 at Marvel, and he's so consistent. Great cover. I'm assuming if you were to bring him in, you'd be using your last trade. So he's another swingman that could really help. So I think he's just a great pick in every way. I don't see any flaw.
Yeah,
I'm exactly the
It's him
same,
on
mate.
midfield,
We've
really,
talked about
isn't
that
it?
Marvel run.
Yeah, I'm the same as Sinclair. Good stuff with the AFL fixturing as well. St Kilda basically playing every week at Marvel after the bye.
Oh,
It's unbelievable.
isn't it?
They just put the apartment next door.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
His
All right, well,
Marvel stats are just ridiculous. Like, I've had him
They are,
now
aren't
for
He loves the
3
lid.
weeks, and he's gone 123, 142, 99, but he just loves Marvel. Just loves a good run.
all right, boys. All in agreement, Sarah, and
Midfielders.
special mention to the Lockie Whitfields of the world as well.
Yep.
All right, on to the midfield, boys. Look, Bon's a pretty obvious one here. You boys thinking anything different? Spillsy, you went first last time. Why don't we go to Steve?
Wow.
Steve, mid 600k plus. Who you going, my man?
I'm going Adam Treloar for the Dogs.
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Might have told Spillsy, I'm not too sure. Yeah, go
Made him
ahead.
still
Mate.
mine, but I just love the fact that he's getting the recognition he deserves.
He's
Absolutely.
playing career best
Yeah.
footy. He's aging out
100%.
41 at the minute. Good to see him have a good full run of a season. Obviously, there's been years where he's dealt with soft tissue, that sort of thing. But I think with the Dogs, season on the line, they should beat North this week, but then they got the Giants. I think that's probably the problem actually with Treloar, that he's probably
going to
more
get tagged twice.
Yeah, the Bedford tag. Yep, but
And the Phillips tag. He got tagged early this year, Steve.
Yep.
He's going to cop it.
Sticking by it.
He's going to cop it.
well, they're both going to be ruled out. I'm calling it in the stars. Adam Treloar is going to unleash for the last 2 rounds.
Love it.
They're both going to get
I hope you have a laugh, mate.
Treloar is the guy.
He's the guy.
Mr. Treloar.
Look, D, I'm with you, mate. When you have Bont there, you're not going past him.
Everyone's
Bond.
got him.
Oh, God.
Go bit left field, Janath.
There's teams without.
Give
There's
us
40%
another
of
wild
teams without
card.
Bont. All right, if
Excuse
you
me?
really want,
Hang on.
I'm going Andy
Luke, ask me a
Brayshaw.
moment. Say that again.
Say that.
How many?
40%.
40% without him.
40% of teams don't have the Bont.
Must
in
be
the
because I'm
competition.
always filtering to top 1% that I don't realise this stuff. I don't really
In the
ever
top
look at just
1%.
overall.
In the top 1%, 2.1% of teams don't have the Bont.
I think most of the 40%'s got to be the blokes that didn't start Bontempelli, and then they've gone by round 4. Oh, shit. I bug it up. I'll try again next year.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, that is amazing. All right. So Bont Trelaw, Spillsy, finish this off before we all say Tristan Xerri for the ruck.
Yeah, well, I said in the last round, boys, that, yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm still going Sinclair, even in the midfield. I mean,
Oh,
why
okay.
not?
Yeah. Decent. Yep.
I was picking
I
him.
don't mind that.
Actually, I was actually
Yeah.
picking him for both lines. Like, I would have him even in the midfield.
That's fair.
Why
Yeah,
not?
no, very fair call, Spills. Very, very fair call, mate. You've already explained
2 birds,
why in
1
great
stone.
detail. And boys,
Boys,
for the ruck,
Should we
is
do
anyone
it?
brave enough not to say Xerri? Is anyone brave enough to
Tom DeConning. Just putting it out there.
generational?
What a play,
Yeah.
Janath. What a play.
Now, of course, it's Tristan Xerri.
Yeah,
He's-
most obvious
of course
pun of the
it is.
lot. Yeah, absolutely, boys. All righty. Great discussion. And I think that pretty much,
Big
if anyone's
discussion.
asking for some trade options, who do I bring in? We've literally given you a player on each line for 4 different lines. So great chat there, boys. And some thinking alike and some thinking off the beaten track at the same time as well.
Boys, we do not even need to, like, we've answered all the questions in that. We can just acknowledge, like, the random, real, like, rogue comments we get here. Like, what do you reckon?
All right.
We've
Let's
covered
get on to the mailbag. Now, I just need to actually share my screen here. Sorry, boys. But we've gone a little bit different this week. Janath, do you just want to quickly tell us a little change that we've made in regards to the mailbag this week, buddy?
Well, with the season one, Janath, we just thought it'd be good to let you guys have a bit of an insight into how we think, just outside of the Supercoach world as well. I know there's a couple of questions, just random things thrown out there. What's our favorite X, Y, and Z sort of thing? So even next week, the swordplay, the mailbag. Look, there's not too many things you can do now with your team, but what you can do is still engage with us for this podcast, as you guys have done here. So let's get into it, DR.
Beautiful. First one is from Maddie, a legend and regular viewer. And again, doesn't have to be random. Absolutely can be Supercoach related. Howdy, gents. 14,200 in the bank on one trade. Kerno's out. Going to use it. Given his price, my bank can't afford much. Would Kennedy be the best trade in given the Blues' injuries?
Spoke about him.
Concerned though with a rugby match on Saturday, how it will affect things.
I'm actually in the exact same position as Matthew here because I've got one trade left. I've got English as well, so I don't know whether to trade English or Kerno, but yeah, I'm in a very similar spot there with Matthew.
Well, Janet's given it the all clear, haven't you, at that range, being a Blues man yourself, mate? Discussed that before.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd go Kennedy.
Yep, beautiful.
Yep.
All right, Matty. Well, you heard it from the man himself and a bagger. So
it's
we think
interesting
that's
what
fine,
you
buddy.
say, Steve, is that you're either going Kennedy from Kerno. I think that English is more likely to come back than Kerno. That's just my gut feel. Because if we lose this week, we're out of finals. So he's not going to be risked next week.
But knowing Carlton, I feel like just you guys, for some
Do you
reason,
reckon we'll win this week?
I reckon you guys will. But I don't know. It just seems like a very Carlton thing to do to bring all the blokes back that just got injured for the very prematurely.
It is a very Carlton thing to do.
Yeah, I think you need to become the next doctor for Carlton. I think you would definitely do a better job than Andrew Russell.
Thanks, Andrew Russell. Sorry, Andy. Love it, mate.
So Janath, I guess a personal question from me. So would you go Matthew Kennedy over Filippo?
Oh, that's tough.
Because that's mostly my thing.
Oh.
That's what I'm guessing. Is Kennedy
I like Filippo personally.
Probably not.
Personally.
Who did the Saints have this week? They've got Geelong. I'd go Kennedy. I prefer the matchups the other way around than Filippo with Geelong and Carlton. Even though we're banged up, like none of your mids did overly well on the weekend. Like we had no players on the bench, and I don't think any of your mids turned up.
I like Matt Kennedy as well. He goes about it the right way. If more of Carlton had blokes that go with that much effort, then you boys would be higher up. Like I really like Matthew Kennedy.
Yeah. So even Warple just got to the ton.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like a pretty simple sort of lad as well. You know, no
He is-
piercings and tats and all. Just standard sort of a haircut operation.
I'll
I
give
like
you an
the cut of the
indication
man skip.
into the mind. I said he was a devout Christian before. He actually wanted to become a priest when he was younger. So
There we go.
at my parish, one of the priests that we have is a good mate of Maddie Kennedy's from
Very good, mate.
Oh,
seminary. So
Excellent.
he's a very devout in his faith, which is good on him. God bless him.
And can lead to good Supercoach scores, aka Gary Ablett Jr., if you don't mind. So he's in good company there. Talk about good company. We have had the pleasure of having this man as company on the podcast. It is Supercoach Locke. How are you, legend? Now, I know you got a bit going on at the moment, Locke. So from behalf of all of us, mate, big shout out, much love to you and your wife and your whole
Good on you,
family,
man.
buddy. All the best, mate. Hey, guys, hope you're well. I have Chad Warner in a keeper league. Is there any chance he gets forward status next season? Does anyone know about that, boys?
Janath?
I've got the data here. We put it out on Third Man Up
he's good.
last week. Now, I don't know if it's been updated. Here we go. Very quickly. Sorry.
Oh,
Chatty Warner. Well, give us a drum roll, please.
That was the car.
Where is he? Sorry, I've got to find him. This is not good. Chad Warner is. Oh my goodness me! He's not going to become a DPP. He's not even in the article.
Oh,
He's not even in the article.
He's not even in the article. So.
Well, yep, no good there. Sorry, Locke.
No
Can't
good.
help
Sorry,
you there.
mate.
Sorry, buddy. Also, this shouldn't even be a question, mate. It's a chicken parma.
Chicken
I will-
parma. Easy.
Parma.
If anyone, I'll just say now, if
Parma.
anyone says palmy, I've got the remove button right here, ready to go. Spills.
I feel like Palmy's I reckon that's a New South Wales one. I've always been Palmer.
no, it's South
personally.
Australia. I've
South
been
Australia.
I've been
I
to
like their Lego stuff. Sorry, South Australians. It's Lego and Palmer. Let me tell you that much.
Oh,
Sorry, George.
yeah, you're not going to like
Oh,
this, then, mate. Do you know what they call a potato cake?
potato
What?
scallop.
Potato scallop.
Oh,
A what? A potato scallop?
Well, I don't know if maybe it's New South Wales, but there's potato
I
scallop.
don't hate that.
There's
I don't like
potato
that.
cake.
Doesn't
and
upset
then
me as
there's
much as
another
like
thing.
Palmy.
There's a
no.
third one as well. Oh, what is wrong with the world these days? What are they
And,
called?
here
Tim
it is.
Tim?
their schooners are their pints.
Oh,
as
potato
well.
fritter. That's the word.
Oh,
They
that's
call it
bad,
potato
Steve, isn't it?
fritter in Adelaide.
Oh no, you have a pineapple fritter. That's all you have in a fritter. Let's be honest. And Steve, just to stuff us around even more, they're switching the pint and the schooners now.
Yeah. Our schooners are their pints. Like you have to get an imperial pint if you want an actual pint. So yeah, they charge
Imperial
the pint price on a schooner.
Oh,
Been
I
a
don't know how
gathering
many viewers. Yeah.
bloody pain in the ass.
I don't know how many viewers I've offended there, but come on, people, be better. It's Parma potato cake. Don't get
I
too
need to
fancy.
hear it. They are.
Come on.
I'm with you.
I'm with
All
you,
right.
Aldia.
Next one's from Lockie. Hey, lads, love the pod. I appreciate you, buddy. DR, as you have connections up top, I'm not that connected, mate. I don't know about that, mate. But one change I'd love to see next year's ability to support the player across lines. Thank you very much. Without needing to make a trade. E.g., moving Humphries from defence to mid, Dowling from mid to forward, and Fisher from forward to defence.
Optimize if you wanted.
Yeah, do you know what, Lockie? It can be risky when you don't have any trades. We were talking about this in the team chat, weren't we, Janath, the other night with Abs?
Yes.
About this optimize use of the optimizer.
But the thing with the optimize, Lockie, is that when you click optimize, it actually allows you to see what your optimized team would look like, and then you can undo it then and there. So you can say no, I don't want to do this sort of thing.
So they've adjusted that, because I remember in previous years where once you optimize, you're buggered.
Yeah.
I think from what Abs was saying, press the cancel before confirming anything, and you can just see what it looks like, apparently, mate.
Yeah.
I haven't, I'm not like, I'm too scared to try it myself, so I'm just hoping other people take the risk and then let me know what happens.
If I get knocked out of the prelim in my TikTok league, I'll do it. I'll do it next week, because I'm not playing for anything. I'll take the bullet here. I will do it and just see what turns out.
You are a very, very good man, Steve. Good on you, mate. All right. Shane B. G'day, gents. G'day, Shane. Huge thanks for all the time work you put in to help a Supercoach hack like me. I'm sure you'll undersell yourself
Shane.
there.
Don't
Shane.
say that.
Thank you very much, though, mate. Who's your all-time Supercoach Mount Rushmore?
Let's do it this way, boys. One defender,
three head?
one mid, one ruck, one forward.
All right.
Of all time.
All right. I'll go defender. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Brendan Goddard
Interesting.
as a defender. He was one of my first pick for years and years and years. Often had some DPP status thrown in there as well. So it's going to be Brendan Goddard for me.
I'm going to go. My one. I don't know. Wait. Do you want to go first, Steve?
No, I haven't thought of one.
You don't. You have a different one. My player. I don't know. Oh, he's out there. I was tossing up between Heath Shaw and Chris Newman.
Oh, yeah, that brings back memories.
I was going to say Heath Shaw.
You're going to say Heath Shaw? Chris Newman, back when you could rush the ball through, and he used to get so many free disposals just in the Luke Ryan zone. Spillsy, do you have a Mount Rushmore defender?
You might. I always sound dumb on the occasion. You might have to elaborate on like Mount Rushmore.
So it's like who's the GOAT Supercoach defender?
The first one that springs to mind is Heath Shaw, but this is back before. This is way like I only really started playing the game in like 2016. I only learned how to really play it in 2019, so I can't really comment. But yeah, I know. I just heard that Heater was just a absolute goat in defense, lock him in almost every year. He and Goddard, I think.
Oh, Spillsy, late to the party. You got my man just very quickly with Goddard. 2006 to 2018 career averages, 106.6 in his first year, 90.1, 103, 115, 130, 107, 101, 106, 102, 97, 97, 97, and close to an 80. So super consistent throughout his whole career, basically since year one, Brendan Goddard. So, yep, he's sure, though. Fantastic pick. And, good man is Heater. Midfield.
Oh, wow.
Is anyone not going to go junior?
I feel like Tommy Rockcliffe deserves a seat at the table, but he can't be junior.
Yeah.
It's got to be Gaz. Can't go past him.
That is a very good call, though, mate. Known as a fantasy pig, Tommy Rockcliffe had some massive years. I reckon 1 year he was the highest averaging. I reckon he averaged more than Gaz in the year, mate.
2014, wasn't it? He just went off top.
I couldn't tell you the year. But being a Brisbane man, it was great owning him. You know, you love owning the goats of Supercoach when they play for your own side. But yeah, no, it's a good call, and I'd give a special mention to probably two other players being Pendles, Elite and Auto Lock back in the day, and his teammate Dane Swan. He was a fantastic own, and his ceiling was untapped back in the day as well. So, all right, boys. No one going different from Gary. We're all going.
No, I was going to go Ablett as well, but I was going to share their Pendles. So Mr. Foreman.
Beautiful. All right, into the rucks now, boys.
It's hard to go past Maxi.
We going Maxi?
It's Maxi or Dean Cox. Cox in his prime was like another midfielder.
Yep. They're the two that are on my list, with a special shout out to Todd Goldstein. He was in my team for a number of consecutive years. Yeah. But I'm going Maxi. Yeah, sorry, Coxie, elite player, but Max Gorn just is it recency bias possibly? Yeah. But I'm not going past Maxi. Janath, if you got to split them, what are you doing, Maxi or Coxie?
Recency bias has gone, but I loved what I remember. Dean Cox had I think it was a 200-point game against the Dogs 1 year. It was near the end of the season. He kicked like 3 in the last quarter. It was just everywhere. He's a freak.
Tim English must have been in the ruck.
Yeah. Who would it have been? Minson? Will Minson?
It was probably Will Minson. Get him off the ground.
Get him off. Get Minson off.
Get him off.
Get Minson off. Calm down.
Spillsy, you go, Maxi.
Yeah. I I'm going Maxi. Yeah, he's
full-
been the benchmark for 6 years now. Can lock him in every year. So, yep. Recency
Love it,
bias,
mate.
but
Yeah,
Steve-o?
I wasn't playing Supercoach when Dean Cox was at his absolute best there. So I'm going Maxi Gorn, of course. Absolute gun.
Beautiful, mate. Now, this is a very transient
This is
line, isn't
tough.
it? It's like, who do we? I was thinking, I don't know if this is fair enough, boys. Jack McRae's had a fair few years as a forward with DPP,
Oh,
hasn't he?
No, he hasn't.
you can't
Am I
count
thinking-
McRae. I don't
Cannot
think. I think
pick
it's got to be a proper
He's a-
forward.
He's had 2
A
years
proper-
as a
all right.
40s.
I've got my Mount Rushmore forward, and it's
So do I.
completely for different reasons compared to the other three.
Okay.
And I'm going to
Yeah.
respect the bloke with the highest ever Supercoach
Oh, I
score.
like it.
Yes, no, I was thinking him or yeah.
I think I've got to go John O'Brien because he's had the highest ever score. I think he deserves the respect
Fair enough.
there of being there.
Yeah, like it.
For
That is a
consistency,
very good
though,
call.
I'm going to go Jimmy Bartel.
Yeah.
Jimmy Bartel for consistency. So from his debut season to his final season, 96.4. I don't know if it's debut. Sorry, no, it's not debut, but from the first season of Supercoach, 96.4, 105, 125.8, 116, 109, 102, 101, 99, 106, 102, 87, 92. Like
That's impressive.
the other one I had there was Nick Rewalt. So similar to
Nick
you, Steve.
Rewalt.
Like
Yeah, I was initially thinking Brownie or Rewalt myself
Yeah.
if it wasn't one of these mid-hybrid types. So, geez, fun question, that one. And I think we gave a fair bit of detail as well there.
Can I
boys.
jump in, DR? I
Yeah,
haven't
please,
gone
Spillsy.
yet. I
Oh,
wanna say
sorry, mate.
Buddy.
I've completely cut you off there, mate.
You have, but I'm going to say Buddy. I like Buddy as well
Yeah,
as a
fair
shout.
enough.
Oh, yeah, nice call, man. Nice
what about
call.
Dusty? Dusty
Mm,
wasn't
yeah,
really
like,
the super coach player because he was more so turned off for finals, right?
That one season, like, really, really stands out, doesn't it? In
but
particular.
even that wasn't the highest averaging. Like, you'd be surprised. He was like
It's like, yeah, we had those
118
1-year
or
players
something.
like
Surely I'm
Danger,
allowed to have McRae if you can have
Dunkley.
Dusty.
Josh
Yeah.
Dunkley when he was a forward was pretty insane at the Dogs.
Yeah,
but like they're not
yeah.
pushing the three that we mentioned earlier. So
He had that real breakout year with Rowan Marshall, didn't he? Was Dunkley's breakout year Rowan Marshall's breakout year from memory? Because I
think it
remember I
was.
didn't own both of them in the forward line. And it was
Yeah, it was 2019. It was.
Yeah, absolute killer that was. All right, great question, buddy. Thank you very, very much for that, Shano. On to the great Catter. How are you, great man? G'day, gents. Once again, thanks for your weekly input into the SC community. You've all been sensational this season. Thank you very much, man. What's your
Catter.
favourite takeaway food and alcoholic beverage? Cheers, Catter. I'll jump in. So probably for me, a nice Jack Daniels and Coke, or Canadian and dry, don't mind. And takeaway food, I love like literally all takeaway food. I'm probably going to go Macca's just because if I think of KFC, it's just a standard zinger all the time. I don't really get anything else in the menu, but I could go to Macca's, quarter pounder, the McChicken, the not Philadelphia fish. Can't stand a Philadelphia fish, but yeah, I'd probably go for more at Macca's. So I'm going to go Jack Daniels and Macca's for me.
I'm gonna
Steve-o, special guest down the bottom,
Steve-o's
mate.
going.
What tickles your fancy?
This is going to be a throwback. When I was playing footy for the Campbell Sharks. Shout out to the Campbell Sharks. I remember my local pizza place right there.
Nice.
Best pizza I've ever had. Best pizza I will ever have. That it's hard to top it. It was so good. So maybe
nice.
nostalgia there. Crown Pizza, very good. And then my favorite beverage. I'm gonna go with it's my go-to. I'll go with Canadian Club Zero Sugar. That's my go-to there.
Loves
Zero
it.
sugar. Very cola or dry.
It's
Cola or
healthy as
dry?
well.
Cola. No,
Cola?
sorry, not cola. Dry.
Oh, nice. Well, we're very close there. I haven't tried the no sugar. Very good for your figure. So good call, mate. Good call. Pete's
it's not
Ringdars
working.
Canadian Club. Love it. Spillsy.
Yep. So, favorite takeaway? Well, I like Zambrero, boys. I don't mind it. That's pretty hard to go past. I dig
What
it.
is it?
Zambrero, Mexican.
Mexican.
Oh, a bit of Mexican. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
Spills. Yeah,
they're pretty
spiced
decent.
up. Yeah,
And
good.
alcoholic beverage, well, I'm going to put a little bit of a point of view perspective here. It's Friday afternoon, summertime, the sun's out. You've just worked, well, physically anyway, you just worked pretty hard, and end of the week, I wouldn't say you go to the pub and you got, nice Carlton draft on tap. Doesn't get much better than that, boys. It is that is a hard-earned thirst, even though that's VB's saying. I think it applies the same for any sort of beer. So yeah, draft is my favorite on tap. And on a night out, boys, I don't mind the vodka seltzers. So they're really easy as well. So yeah, I definitely get around those too. So
very nice.
Yeah, hard to
very
go
nice,
past
Spilsy.
any of those.
Janath, if you're out, mate, you're getting some takeaway and some drinks. What are you looking at, mate?
Oh, I love Malaysian food.
Malaysian.
Give me some 5-spice chicken ribs, or like a Malaysian curry chicken, or golden yolk fried chicken ribs. Love the fried chicken ribs. They're good in Malaysian. In terms of drinks, don't really drink, but I would have to go for, if we're at home, hard worked on a weekend, Sunday once in a while, like a Canadian Club Dry is good, or else I'll go with the premix vodka cruiser raspberry.
Very
Nice.
nice, mate. Very nice. Jeez, that
You
brings
get along
back
with Shorty then, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
love
There's
these
Shorty.
vodka
Doesn't he?
cruisers.
Love a cruiser, the
We're
old Shorty.
the lighties.
Yeah, sneaky cruiser here and there. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Cutter, and hope you are well, legend. Next one's from Jackie Blutcher. Jack is an absolute champion as well. A great man, a big fan of the channel. So, Jack, hope you're well, mate. Hey, legends, hope you're having a great break. Just want to say we all appreciate you so much for your brilliance and positivity each and every week. Your round review was so positive. Loved it. I'm very sorry you went through that tough time. I left a comment on it. Yes. Obviously, we haven't even addressed that. We don't need to, do we, boys? The issue that I had last week. But Jack, thank you very much for your support, mate. And again, anyone that is tuning in that did send me a message or anything like that, really do appreciate you guys. Wonderful, wonderful people, and very lucky to have such a great community. But Jack, you are a big part of it, mate, and you are what helps to make what we are. So thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it, dude. The ladies, man. Now I'll have to ask him how many he's been swatting off with that swordplay hoodie here, boys. But Horses got Supercoach terms 3.8 to either get a forward or a Kerno, a forward for Kerno, or get a ruck for English. Unsure which is better for either position. Did make the point, you made this point before, Janath, that English could come back next week. So are you saying to get a forward for Kerno or a ruck for English? What one are you going there, mate?
I'm just having a look at his covers. He doesn't have he's going to face a donut either way, unless Dowling or Kruger comes back in.
Yeah.
And so it probably is. It's a tough one, because if Dowling or Kruger comes back in, then you basically can save the donut in one of the lines.
And just say
$3.5 grand. Can he even get Kennedy? I'm not sure if he can get Kennedy from Kerno.
Might be going Mateus.
Yeah, that's not the worst shout. What do you think about Miki, Steve? Like, what is it? Good matchups to end the year. I don't mind the pick at all.
Is Xerri a good matchup for opposition ruckman though?
Not really, but he's got Richmond. Nankervis is definitely a good matchup for
Richmond's.
Rucks,
Nankervis is a good matchup. It's just or even if you're prioritizing maybe more for grand finals, I think if Tim English isn't back next week, Kieran Briggs could be very interesting. Potentially.
That's a really tough one, cause I'm just gonna have a look at.
I do like Meek, but I think he scored pretty poorly this week, 71 against Pitternet, but Pitternet's relatively restrictive.
Pitternet is, yeah. Look, I'd probably looking to go Kerno to Kennedy in that position, cause it opens up a loop as well, and you just got to hope that English is back next week. It's hard because you're probably looking at a donut either way in this position.
And we all know Supercoach heritage. Whoever you trade out, they'll be back next week, and the other one won't.
Always the way, isn't it, mate?
Always the way.
Yeah. All right, Causa. All the best of luck there, buddy. Hope it goes well for you, mate. Our next one is from Lauren. Yeah, Lauren, hope you're well, mate. Hey, guys, rank 600 at the moment with 2 trades.
Well
now
done.
you are just showing off, Lauren.
That's
Well
unreal.
done. That is fantastic. Wanting to maintain rank and win my league final, 2 trades at 600. I'd be probably looking to go a little bit better than maintaining, Lauren. I reckon you are looking
gonna
good for the
fly
top
up.
500 here.
We'll
Not
send it.
sure. Not yet. Steve reckons send it. Not sure whether to trade English to Gorn or Marshall. And if Sheasel is out, whether to trade in Newman or Ryan, trading for Stewart 2 weeks ago. Bad luck there. Would love some help. So English to Gorn or Marshall. Well, I was on Gordon myself. I think Spills and Janath were on Marshall. Steve, who are you going with that? And no one's going to take it personally here, Steve. But who are you going with, mate?
I'll try extra hard as well because she's a Hawthorn supporter and her last name's Smith.
Oh,
So
good on you, Lauren. Very good,
Ah,
Very good.
She's pretty active on
Hey.
Hawthorn, so shout out to Lauren there. I reckon English to Marshall I quite like.
Get stuff, Steve. Go with
That's
the crowd,
sneaky,
mate.
isn't it? I
Sheep.
like it too,
Oh,
Steve.
go with the crowd.
To me it sounds like Cheesel's 50-50 to play, which I assume means North aren't playing for anything, but means he could be back.
He's
next
playing for
year.
an All-Australian Blazer. That's what he's playing for.
He's already locked it in.
Oh, yeah,
He's
there we
fitted
go.
already.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go English to Marshall, maybe, I reckon, Yeah.
How about Newman or Ryan?
I've got a bit of owner bias with Newman in my side already. Newton, I mean, I don't know about you, Janath, but surely he ends the season.
He's the guy. He's going to get, I reckon he's going back-to-back 120s.
Okay.
But I don't know how Ryan's going to go. I feel like Ryan is back to pigging it up. So
You know
it's like-
what?
And he might just poke Freo out of finals.
Something I think we need to
Fair
mention
enough, yeah.
here, wanting to maintain rank.
Yeah.
I would say in order to maintain rank,
yeah.
surely you're going for a bloke that's owned by
Yeah,
the majority
That's
of
a
the
really good
1%.
point.
Glad you
Rather
brought that
than-
up. Because
rather
if
than a
you're
2%
maintaining
of
rank, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I guess the thing is win your league final as well. Like if Ryan is a unique, it's one of those situations where I know we play late in the round. I don't remember where Freo plays. Freo plays
They play the last game of the
they
season.
they play the second game of this round. So I was like, you can almost see how the matchup looks and then make the decision, but you're sort of going to have to make the decision early.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Um,
stressful watch with Ryan if you don't own him in a
If you don't
potential
own him,
grand
yeah,
final, particularly if he's a unique. Like he's a
Yeah,
last bloke. Honestly,
you don't want him to unique him.
2 weeks in a row of just absolutely filthy chipping around
He's
halfback.
back.
So
He's
But
back.
we also got to remember as well that I believe Alex Pearce is still out of the side, I believe, up until if they make finals. He was still playing that pretty accountable role where, that score might have been, just random out of nowhere. I know he's capable of it, but yeah.
It was the kicks, 34 kicks, two handballs, like 15 marks. That's pre by Luke Ryan right there.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
ridiculous. 34 kicks. two handballs.
Mental.
Amazing. So I think the majority here, Lauren, are going with Rowan and Luke Ryan for those two there. So good on you. Great question. And go the Hawkers. Going really well. Must be absolutely wrapped at the moment, Lauren. Next one is from another one of our favorites, Kamo. Hey, lads. Thanks again for your help as always. No worries, mate. Okay, opponent's got English. Is it worth Kamo burning his last 2 trades to bring in Xerri? Grundy would be the one to make way. Or, boys, would you recommend to our great man Kamo just save those last 2 trades for some potential last-minute carnage or possibly even a late move in the grand final? Spills, what's your first thoughts there, mate? Are you sending it, getting Xerri in? Just English is out, no cover for him. Let's get Xerri in and just stamp this victory home this week. Or do you think, well, I'll just stick with Grundy for now. They're copping a donut anyway. I've got an advantage as it is. What do you reckon, mate?
Nah, 2 rounds left. fast and loose. Get your man. I'd do it. I'd
You're
burn
doing
those last 2 trades. There's not much else to really lose at this point, and I mean, there's not long in the season. So, look, at touch wood, it's worked for me so far. I used my last trade 6 weeks ago. I swear, hasn't backfired yet. So I don't know. Cherry's the man. So, and yeah, for English as well, I'd be pulling the trigger. But I'm very aggressive, a lot more aggressive than particularly the 2 lads on top of me right now. So, what do you reckon, boys? DR, you agreeing or devil's advocate?
Oh,
I'm going devil's advocate.
Nah, I knew it.
I'm being safe for that last. Like, who knows what with some of these players? What I'd be really worried about as well is like a late out. Like these players get named. You see the team sheets,
you got good
but they just
cover,
struggle
would you?
to line. I'm being
You got
safer.
Lawson Humphreys cover. Yeah, I'd send
and
it.
they got West Coast last round as well.
Mm.
Are you sending it, Steve? Are you with Spills? Get Xerri in.
Well, because I think you would really want Xerri for the grand final as well. So
Yeah,
True.
Who's the West Coast? Steve in the last round?
Geelong.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
with Lawson Humphreys, I mean, potentially spike there.
I think the reward is better than the risk.
Is
I
it too
think
good to be
having
true?
Cherry's-
Is this matchup? Like, it's just one of those matchups I feel like maybe we haven't seen it with Cherry because he's normally pretty spot on when he has a good matchup. But it's like he should generally go 220 this. He could 200 this week. We don't even know who the ruckman is, but he's going to outmatch whoever they put up against him. Like he was going to outmatch English to begin with. I don't know. Maybe
Are you doing it, Janath?
Jumping at shadows. 2 trades.
I reckon Xerri going under.
If there's a way to get Marshall with 1.
Oh, you can if you want, but
I know Cherry's the 1. I get that. And the last round he plays Hawthorn, who's Meek is a relatively decent ruckman. I don't know. I just not comfortable losing both trades in a really good position here. Maybe even just hold on and see how the matchup's looking. Because if you're just playing for head to head and you don't actually need Cherry to win the matchup because your opponent has English, then maybe you just don't need to make any move at all.
Yep. All right. Tough one, Kamo. And as always, mate, nothing better than gut feel, mate. If your gut's leaning in one way, that would be my advice as well, mate. Is Jackie again? Hey, mate, got a question this time. I'm in 2 prelim final cash leagues. Well done, mate. 0 trades, English and Kerno. Both teams I'm playing have them, but looking for an upside VC to get the W. Was thinking, Butters to Bond, any suggestions? Well, Jack, we'll actually get to all of the captains, mate, as soon as the mailbag's done, mate. So we'll basically answer that question now.
But very quickly, Jack, that's the exact VCC combination I have. So well done, mate. Not saying it's going to work, but that's
bit of an
where
insight
I'm
there.
well.
Bit of an insight there. Good on you, Jack. Thanks, mate. Here's Johnny, great member of my channel and a legendary bloke as well. Hey, mate.
Yeah.
ADR, Janath, Spills, and Steve. 6 prelim finals. Well done, mate. All against tough opponents. Was hoping to leave my last trade until the last round, but will be of no use if I don't get to any grand finals. And that's a good point to anyone thinking, do I burn it? Do I not? John's pretty much nailed that there. Should I just hold or upgrade a player now? Thinking Grundy to Marshall.
Bang.
Yes?
Yes,
Bang.
do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right.
Send it.
Great point you made. Was it you, Steve, that made the point about Grundy earlier? But he does look cooked.
Yeah,
And
so
it's hard
who's
to see him finish off the year strong.
Like,
What's that, Steve?
Grundy's last 2 were Essendon, Adelaide. To my knowledge, they're both relatively restrictive ruckmen as well. So
I pull the trigger. Marshall's good, man.
I would do that. I'll do that, especially
Marshall
if
is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And the other thing, just very quickly on that, is that if the Swans win this week, then they're guaranteed top spot unless they lose by 100 next week, because their percentage is 10% higher than the next best team. So they may even rest. Like, not saying they will.
Oh, no.
I know you guys have Grundy, but I'm just saying that giving him 2 weeks is leading up into a finals campaign is probably beneficial. I'm not saying that he will be rested, but it's something that they could do reasonably.
Always need to think about this stuff. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Use that, buddy. Here's one of our favorite names, the Watermelon Cruiser.
What a name.
How are you,
I
mate?
love it.
It is classic, isn't it? Best trade in / out options on every line this week. Hey, well, we've definitely done the trading
Yeah,
options.
we've done this one.
Looking at
Got a
matchups
boost?
over the next few weeks.
Got
A
a
boost.
The
Wow.
old boost in the grand final, DR.
Well, doing a Jakey boy here. That again, epic move. We've talked about that a few times
Your
now.
granny, I'd say.
We've talked about all the trade-in options. I think with the trade-out options, obviously the Kernos of the world, those
It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
players. Is there anything else you boys can sort of add to the question here? We've sort of talked
Nothing we
about
haven't
trade-in
covered
options.
in our last discussion. We covered it all, and I think
Yeah.
that
sounds
whole 40-minute discussion definitely answers this question. So
Yeah, between the injuries and the best options, we probably have. Good on you, mate. Cheers to that, buddy. Next one is from Moore. G'day, mate. Neil Whitfield or Sinclair if Shees is out? Well, we all
Neil.
went Sinclair over Whitfield, didn't we? Because we had the option to go Whitfield there. So it's really Sinclair versus Neil. Spills,
okay.
you gave Sinclair the thumbs up, didn't you, mate, in the midfield and the defensive line? Are you still going there, mate? You're taking him over Chocky?
well, it's tough. They're both great picks.
Yeah.
I like them both. I don't know.
I'm going Neil. The
I'm
reason
going to back
for it
my
is that
boy in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna back
Neil's
the
been great
Brownlow
for me all year. I think real recency bias, just copped a tag, so hasn't been the best form last couple of weeks. But yeah, Neil's pretty solid. But
very
I don't think
quickly
go
on the
wrong with either of them,
Chincotta.
Yep.
Chincotta's one of the only fit players remaining at the club. He was the sub on the weekend, but as soon as he came on, he went to, now correct me if I'm wrong, he went to Sicily first, and then he went on to Dylan Moore. So he's still playing a accountable role.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I own Sinclair, and I don't want this to happen, but I can see a world where Sinclair's the one that is tagged if half our team isn't back in round 24.
Jeez, mate.
They're all
So
great.
all right.
picks, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go Lockie Neal, mate.
Sinclair can fight off a tag. Like he's
Yeah.
just.
I think
he's a role-
Neil's safer because
Yeah,
you know
Neil is
I think Lions have a great two fixtures.
two great matchups.
Oppositions like Collingwood and Essendon, both of them are tearing all
No
sorts.
one,
So
they're not going to tag both of
No.
them.
Yeah.
none of them
Yeah.
are tag.
And Steve-O was with Shocky as well. Cheers to that, buddy.
Oh,
All
here
right.
we go.
3 left. Marty,
I
love
please.
this.
Hey, Marty. Favorite train line in Melbourne? Mernda is a personal favorite, please. Geez,
Wow.
okay. This is a different one.
What's the
isn't it?
criteria here?
Can I say Puff and Billy? Or is that not allowed?
I think Billy.
I don't know. Is that?
Well, it has to be a metro, I think, DR.
That's
I
near
want to have
my.
E-line,
I
Spillsy.
think B's near
Oh,
my
the
area.
V-line is so much more comfortable, Spills. Like, it is so much more
I'm
comfortable.
going to say, what about the
Okay.
Bendigo line?
The Bendigo.
I'll go Seymour line. Seymour line for me.
Are you
I've
just
been
saying
on
that
the.
line that you're on, DR, or is this genuinely your favorite line?
Oh, well, I just think about, I know that's the line with the comfortable seats. So I'm just going that way. I don't know
I'm
about
gonna-
the scenery and the views or whatever, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going the
Oh.
Belgrave / Lilydale line for me. That's the one
Yeah.
I've
Ooh,
Jump
bit of
on,
Belgrave
so-
Lilydale. Steve,
Yeah.
that
nice.
was going to be my next one. I was going to elaborate on that one, Steve. And yeah, the Belgrave
random.
line is my favorite.
Why? What?
Yeah, my whole life after the
It's-
MCG,
really
after a
nice.
game, I've been on it.
Jeez,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, nice. Yeah, so some memories there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna,
you're the same there, Spills. The old Belgrave.
Yeah, you get the train. Yeah, so I lived in Ferntree Gully for a bit, long time ago now. And
Oh,
yeah, you go catching the train from Ferntree Gully to Belgrave, like you're on a metro line, but you're going through the forest. Like you go to Tacoma,
Yep.
and it's like
legit.
one of the most least used like metro stations in Melbourne. Like literally no one gets on and off, and it's a one platform, and it's like you're getting off in a jungle. It's like so good. Any local that's watching this potty will just be like, yeah, what a shout out.
Yeah,
So
We're right near the stick spill, spills.
100%.
Might just have to jump on the train just for a nice ride for the scenery. So, very nice question, mate. Something definitely.
I like it. Yeah.
I've still got one. I've still got one. I'm going to say the Craigieburn line because I felt safe. I felt safe going on it. I have to against popular opinion. The Craigieburn line is a safe line. You don't go past Broadmeadows, so you do get home safe.
Janath from Broady, and shout out to anyone that is listening or watching from Broadmeadows as well. All right. Before I forget, boys, if you haven't seen this video before, just jot this down in YouTube. Excited Train Guy. Train Guy. It is one of the all-time classics. I almost guarantee you'll be rolling on the floor with tears in your eyes. Excited Train Guy. The title pretty much says it all. So, bit of a recommendation for me on that one. Now, do you know what? To be honest, when I think of my Supercoach Mount Rushmore, this bloke just missed out. Mr. Relton Roberts here, a great Supercoach Hall of Famer. Hey, legends. Would you rather get a potato peeler and peel your I read that is not forearm. I read that is
Say that again.
I wouldn't prefer that. No.
Dale's mind lives rent-free in the gutter, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought, geez, where is Relton going?
We're all sorts.
Relton, I'm going to start again, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, legends, would you rather get a potato peeler and peel your forearm skin and squeeze lemon juice on it, or put a toothpick in your toenail and kick a wall as hard as you can? I'm
really giving it much thought, to be honest.
You morbid person, Relton. You morbid man.
We'll ask for this.
Do you know what? I'm going the potato peeler on the forearm skin. Like a toothpick in the toenail. Remember, I just had sepsis, boys, and I don't want any toothpicks or wood in my skin. So I'm going the old lemon juice on the.
Can we do this? Can we do this like a spill your guts or fill your guts? I'd take the fill your guts in a heartbeat.
Boys, Steve, are you leaning a particular way here, mate?
Yeah, I'd go the potato peeler. I mean, both not ideal situations.
You're not wrong, mate.
Get into.
I would cop that last one.
But I've got a housemate whose last name's Peeler, and we call him Spud. So
that's great.
So I'm sort of imagining in my head him like peeling my forearm. Squeezing lemon juice on it. I mean, not my go-to kink, fair to say. So yeah.
What is this podcast?
Let us go on. What's happened here? I've just looked at the time. We're going to get to 2.5 hours, boys. And I was saying, let's do it an hour.
2.5 hours in bloody
round 23.
Round 23, 2.5 hours into the podcast, and we're talking about whether or not we'd like to use potato peelers to put lemon juice in us or bloody toothpicks in the toenails.
My favourite
This is where the season's at, boys. This is where the season's at. Spillsy. Janath, have you boys given your answer to this yet?
I'd go the potato peeler. The toothpick it hurts stubbing your foot into a door, let alone with the toothpick in there.
Adding that extra element, you're absolutely right, mate. Some potential sepsis, which I know all bloody about. Spillsy, what are you going, mate? Come on, be brave. Go with the toothpick, Spills. Come on, mate. Take one.
Analysed either outcome.
But Spills, if you choose it, you've got to give us a live demonstration.
Do I now? I think that'd be more carnage than your football team, Janath. So I probably would give that a miss.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
No, I'm gonna go with the first one.
Drive-bys.
I'm soft as melted butter on a hot sunny day, so I'm gonna go the first one.
Oh, and to finish off,
sorry, man.
Riley Van Rokel. G'day, Riley. How are you, mate? G'day, fellas. Just want to say a huge thank you to the three of you for putting in the effort to make such a great pod. Appreciate you, brother. I'm a first-year player who needed help, and after finding DR's channel, I fell in love with Supercoach and this pod more importantly. Cheers for being such fun, incredible people. Just nice little compliment to finish off.
Can I just say, how is that? That's one of the nicest questions we've had there. How's that probable spam? What do you
Did
mean?
that get?
Oh,
Sorry,
gee,
I
big
did
stick
click on
up.
that earlier. Yeah, Elon's gone. No, sorry, Riley. Not
There's
good
nothing
enough.
but nice things to
We want some
say.
controversy. Yeah.
That is a
Look,
drive-by
Riley,
from Elon. I'm
isn't
excited
it?
about that.
Elon kicks us on the way out. But Riley, what I will say is, mate, congratulations on almost getting past your first season. Don't know how you actually travelled this year, mate, but it's always good to get the first one or two out of the way. You learn your own strategy, your own playing style. You won't necessarily play like any of the four of us. You work out your own way, mate. But cheers for that, mate. Much appreciated. And obviously next year, mate, probably the stock market will help you out a lot. And I will get back onto that as well, mate. Just been very, very slow with that one lately. Boys, that is the mailbag done and dusted for this week. All right.
Quick captains.
Look, really, Steve, you've actually got a trade, mate. So very quickly, Matty Kennedy, looking likely for you this week, mate, after the discussion tonight, or you're still tossing up the poo, or what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I think so. I backed Janath in till the cows come home. So, yeah, I'll back my brother in. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll have to. Kennedy's less money than Kerno, right?
No, it's 2K, 2.3K more expensive.
That's fine. So yeah, that's probably something I'm looking at. I think, yeah, I tell you what, I traded Dempsey to Kerno as my last upgrade, and I've actually on that. So yeah, the pain doesn't stop this season. So I think I'll back Matt Kennedy in. I was impressed. He was one of the few shining lights for Carlton on Sunday. So yeah, I think we'll go Matt Kennedy. Let's do it.
Beautiful, mate.
He's so stiff that you can't afford Dempsey. Like,
I can't even afford Dempsey.
You can't even afford Dempsey.
That's so bad, isn't it? You poor
I was
bugger.
getting a primo.
Well, Steve, at least you got to trade unlike a couple of other people here, mate. I will jump in very quickly. If I was to make my last luxury, I suppose luxury trade, whatever you call it, I've only got limited funds available in the bank. I think I can almost go Dowling to Philippou. So would be likely for me a Dowling to Philippou, just as that option to loop Dogger and Jai Simpkin. But yeah, not much going on in the trade front this week, boys. All right, we're going to finish off with the Capitano's Corner. Now, we do have a few blokes in the background here. No graph for this week, but for me, I'm just going to put it straight out, and others may disagree, but I think if you're a Tristan Xerri owner, would not even think twice about having him in your loop, whether or not that's your captain or your vice captain. I think he could have the potential to go astronomical this week. However, Janath, they are playing the Doggies, and there's a man that just not long ago went absolutely bananas in Marcus Bontempelli. So a couple of options just to throw out there quickly, mate. What are you thinking this week? This is your area of expertise, mate. You and Roscoe. Tell us about what you're thinking, buddy.
This is not a decision I envy. Tristan Xerri versus Bontempelli. Who gets the armband, whether it be the VC or the C? Look, Xerri is the safest houses pick. We were just talking before. Is it too good to be true? Though, like, is English being out almost worse for Xerri? Like, you know what you're getting from English. Whereas if they bring in the rookie ruckman, I forgot his name, but it's something Smith, your namesake Steve. Or if they put a Sam Darce in the ruck, you just don't know. With Xerri, like, is he going to be? How's he going to go against English? It was going to towel him up. Like, let's be real here.
Yep.
With the Bont, what was the score? 1-6 to 157 early in the year. Dogs coming off a tough loss on the road against Adelaide, 7-day break. As well, I think that this is one of those games where it's a lock and load Bont if you don't own Xerri. So in terms of the rankings there, put Xerri just above Bont because Xerri's matchup, you just know what you're going to get from him in that way. Other pod options that a lot of teams won't have, I'm just putting these out there. James Sicily against Richmond. We saw what he did early this year, going the 140 plus there, as well as Noah Anderson against Melbourne at People's First Stadium. Great picks there. Players I would stay away from. Sack Merritt against Sydney. I fear that he'll be tagged by James Jordan. Caleb Sarong against GWS. Not sure who Bedford goes to, whether it's Sarong, the in and under play, or more so that outside spread in play like a Hayden Young. I would stay away from Nick Dacos against Brisbane. And that's 3 popular captain options right there. That are sort of look. Dacos against Brisbane at the G is probably the safest off those 3, I reckon. But at the same time, like, does a Jared Berry go to him? DR, you may want to add something there. Does someone track with Dacos? He wasn't tagged in the first meeting, and Collingwood won that game.
It is a tough one, mate. It is a tough one. I don't really have a gut feel to this. I hate to sit on the fence, but I really don't feel comfortable going one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Do they even maybe not look to start? And if he does start to get off the chain, then maybe they look to shut him down. I don't have a real good gut feel. And because of that, I just wouldn't be considering Dacos this week, just in case, mate.
Yeah. And that's why amongst the most popular owned options, I think the 2 Saturday night games is where we need a target. So let's start with Port Adelaide. I think Zach Butters is a great VC option. I'm still a bit wary about the captaincy on him, just because Sam Berry lined up on the bond to start the game last week, and he doesn't necessarily track him, but it's that sort of attention which brings down the ceiling a little bit, but it's still fine to VC, I think. And then in the St Kilda Geelong game, both Jack Sinclair, Rowan Marshall, Tom Stewart, all fine picks to VC or C, I reckon, in that matchup. And then this the big one, Western Bulldogs against North. Lots of popular options in here. So we got the Cherry. The Bont is probably 1A, 1B with Cherry. You could even go, like, this is really risky, but a Harry Sheasel, if he is fully fit, he's past be fit.
I'd be nervous.
It'd be a pod play. It would be a pod play, but if he's playing, you would assume that he is fit. They wouldn't put a 90% Sheasel out there, I don't think.
Last time I went to pod play against Bonampally, it backfired, so there's no way.
That is, if it's not your cup of tea, you don't do it. But I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying that it is something that your league opponent may not be seeing coming. And if you can get up, if you can get up on it, it'd be massive. Hawks, Richmond. Look, this is the problem here. Is if you VC Cherry, you've got to own a Sam Walsh. Nick Newman is an okay captain pick, DR.
I like hearing that. Not that I'm looking to go there, but just as an owner.
Sorry, Steve,
let's get excited.
So this does give you the option, in fact, to go a Bont into a Newman or a Walsh. I would have look. This is why I'm like, do I trust?
It's ambitious, isn't it? Like, it seems really hard to overlook.
That Newman's probably going to go 120 plus in these next 2 games. Does he have the ceiling? He does, but does he show it enough? Probably not.
Yeah.
That's the only pick I reckon I'd be comfortable with VCing Bond for. Sicily's fine, but he plays before that game finishes, the Bond game.
Can I throw out the name of Sam Flanders? I know he's had a couple of down weeks. Is he due for a big one against Melbourne?
I don't know what his role is anymore. He's not playing in defence. He's not playing inside mid. Tukes back this week. Where does he play?
Yeah. Well, we talked about Noah Anderson before. I don't own him, but as a bit of a pod, Noah Anderson, I think, could go really big.
Anderson is definitely one to target for sure. But look, Flanders, that role, if we knew his role, definitely, for sure. Next week as well, if Richmond at the MCG, but normally round 24, you boys know the drill. Anyone that's in Brownlow contention, VC and C. Last year was Bont into Butters, and they both went 140 plus. We'll see what happens next week. Yeah. And sorry, I forgot to mention Lockie Neal, Josh Dunkley, both great picks at the MCG against Collingwood. Honestly, for you boys, anyone that has Neal, I'd be going Neal into Bont. I personally will be going Butters into Bont because I just don't trust Josh Dunkley to deliver a high ceiling game.
My options are what you just said, mate. So I'm currently going Neal into Bont myself.
I'm a bit different, guys. Different.
Go on, Spillsy.
All right, mate. Go on.
Sorry, boys. That's like really delayed. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm looking at. Well, I have Neil as well, but is it inappropriate to say I'm still leaning towards Butters over Neil as a VC?
Not
or
at all.
No, mate.
That's
no.
fine.
I
Butters is a great
can't
pick.
really
Go
split
down.
him.
Big game.
The
Yeah.
only red flag is Sam Berry. And it's because he acts as a cool. He's not a tag, but he's just there. He's like a pest that you can't swat away.
Surely on the outside, like Butters is going to smash him on the outside, wouldn't he, around the ground?
Yeah, 100%.
And
Just
again,
and-
again, boys, very quickly, look to see where Sack Butters is named to start the game. I think this is so important with Butters because they got that
you
mid
said the
rotation:
bench, didn't you?
Wines,
Yeah.
Rosie, Butters, Horn Francis. And if Butters is named to the bench, you already give up 15, 20 points at the start of the game.
Yeah.
But he started on the field
Good point, man.
and he was on 30 at quarter time, finished on 131. See if that's the case. It's a showdown. They better start him on field. If he's starting on field, all jets are a go.
Porter
Surely.
playing for a top two finish
exactly.
as well. So,
You're
I
on,
mean,
Steve.
I'd find it bloody mental. There is one bloke I'd like to throw out there, Janath. I know
on,
you're
mate.
the captain legend, but just thought I'd give maybe Errol Goulden a shout out for
Yeah, don't mind it.
night. His last
Yep.
3 games against Essendon, 149, 152, 130.
Yeah, love it.
Wow.
He's got good
pickup.
Marvel numbers as well, Steve. So Goulden and Heaney for that matter. Heaney against Essendon is also big pod VC. He'll be a pod VC, I reckon, this week as well, like he was last week.
Yeah.
Oh, that last quarter of Heaney's. Have you seen a better quarter like that?
No, I haven't. It's pretty good.
Seriously, that was just. I haven't given him enough kudos personally for that. I know it's lots of people have, but that was just outstanding. Outstanding.
So if we were to rank those captaincies, so the players to avoid, I would say your Merritt, Sarong, Dacos. Players to actively target would be Goulden, Peeney, Neil, Butters, Sinclair, Stewart. Players to really target and almost have in your loop, unless you own both of them, is Cherry and Bont. And
Yep.
players that are okay to fall back on include Sicily, Newman, Walsh, Just. But the big pod here, the big ace in the pack here is Noah Anderson. If you've somehow got Anderson and Cherry, you could well and truly go Anderson into Cherry.
Oh
wow.
yeah, and
Somehow.
Anderson as the VC as well.
Yeah,
I'd be. I'm
Anderson
always
as the VC, the
much
high
more
variance
comfortable.
player.
Anderson to me is a VC choice, not a captain choice. Just with that variance, as you said, mate, and it could be a stressful captain. Yeah. All right, boys.
Well done, boys.
Captain's corner done, which means we are all done for the week, fellas. All done for the week. Now,
How do we do it, boys? How do we do it?
2 hours 40.
we talk pre-podcast.
If you're still with us.
And we're going, yeah, mate, we'll go about an hour and 15. From what I can see, we're at about 2 hours 30 something here. So we've done it again. We have done it again. But I must say that I really, really do enjoy your Legends company each and every week. Steve-O, thank you very much for coming on, Legend. It's been a long time coming, and we know that you are a favourite of our community anyway, mate. But thank you very much for coming on, Legend. Hawthorn are smashing it up at the moment. So for now, life seems pretty good, mate.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. It's such an elite podcast. So, it was an honor to jump on. So, I really do appreciate it. Ripper time, good banter, really good stuff. So, hopefully Hawthorn can, I mean, as I said, I think anything past here is a bonus. We'll see what happens in the last couple of games. And, we'll see how it goes. For Supercoach, I've done a fair bit of calculating for 2025. So I'm all aboard on Hawthorn for the rest of the year. And,
So am I, mate.
Beautiful, Steve-O. Spills, now, have you got something prepared here, Spillsy? You've got the Joker hat off now, mate. You've got the nose off.
I'd take it. It is absolutely
Actually,
killed.
usual Spills.
2.5 hours before this 4 boys.
That's commitment, mate. And you did follow through on your bet. So well done to you there, mate. What are you going to leave us with, mate, for the season 4, episode 22 podcast?
Well, I always try to bring something to the table, but I just got to keep it simple and just thank Steve for coming on and even more so catching up with you on Saturday night. I mean, yeah, the beers were flowing at Marvel, and although the Bombers didn't get the win, in some way, shape, or form, it did feel like a win because it was a bloody good night, and I definitely saw the positive out of it. So just couldn't keep up to the after party, had to get home, but it was a good night. So good on you, mate.
No, you're
stop it,
bloke.
Spillsy.
You're a ripper bloke. Good to catch up with you, mate.
Good stuff, man.
Beautiful.
Appreciate the kind words.
Bit of kumbaya there between the two of you.
Nothing wrong with it, DR.
It's just, I imagine that Simpsons episode, everyone's holding hands with that peace sign and the aliens are looking down going, here's our Janath, what are you going to end us with, mate? Some Shakespearean type stuff, or going to keep it nice and simple, Matt Kennedy style, like Spillsy?
And the potty, Janath.
We'll go in the middle. Me sit on the fence here, but look, good luck everyone for your prelim finals. Just remember to get into the grand final, you need to win your prelim, so don't rest on your laurels.
That's true.
Here, a great way to get a pod pick is not necessarily through a captaincy, but just not overthinking the easy call. Make the call, make it easy, can have some conviction, and always with your captaincies, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So
he rolls.
It's always the way. Always the way. If you stick by it, back your gut in. This is the week. We'll see you next week, hopefully with some grand finals to look forward to. DR.
On your legends. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.